Time is 6:38 and it is May 7, 2006, and I'm calling this meeting to order. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to CEC District 28 calendar meeting. Could I have our recording secretary, Chantel Chambers, please do the roll call?
Good evening, everyone. All right. We have our first Vice President, Lauren Clavin.
Present.
Second Vice President, Jennifer Sobers.
Present.
Recording Secretary, Chantal Chambers, present. Our Treasurer, Alicia Bauer.
Present.
Members, Lou Zal.
Present.
Annie Koch.
Present.
Kenya Townsend. Okay. Paquita Williams.
Present.
Eric Gretsch.
Present.
Cicely Chu.
Here.
And President Quincy Method.
Here. Thank you. Next. I'd like to have our Spanish interpreters please make their announcement and put your information in the chat.
Good evening, buenas tardes todos y bienvenidos a esta reunión híbrida. Me llamo Ramón y junto con mi colega Sara le brindamos servicios de interpretación simultánea en español. Si desean la interpretación, por favor, llamen por teléfono al número 347-966-4114 e ingresen el código o el ID de la conferencia, que es el 872-687-607 y el signo numeral. Repito, para acceder a la interpretación simultánea en español, marquen el número 347-966-4114 e ingresen el ID, la clave de la conferencia es el 872-687-607, el signo numeral. Recuerden mantener los micrófonos de sus dispositivos en silencio para evitar ruido de fondo. Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'll have our first Vice President, Lauren Clavin, please make her speech about our chat.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our meeting. The chat is now open. I just want to let you all know that the chat will remain open as long as folks are kind and respectful, especially when in disagreement. And we will have to close the chat if that changes. Thank you.
And next, what we have today, we have Kenya. You do good monitoring the chat to see speakers list. And anybody want to help Kenya? Annie and Kenya will be monitoring the chat. So definitely, what time does the chat close? 7:30. 7:30. So 7:30. So sign up if you want to speak at parent section. You have until 7:30. Now, all right. Again, welcome. Thank you for taking your time out tonight to come to our meeting. We always appreciate you. And this has been an interesting meeting from our last. So before we begin tonight's meeting, I want to acknowledge something that's been weighing heavy in the community and on many hearts across New York City this past month. Far too many young lives have been lost to reckless gun violence, gang-related activity, and senseless decisions that continue to devastate families and communities. These were not just headlines that we all saw. These were children, teenagers with names, dreams, classmates, loved ones, and futures that should still be unfolding. as president of CEC District 28, but more importantly, I was looking at this as a father. These tragedies recently hit differently. They reminded us here that our work in education is not only about academics and test scores or graduation rates, it's also about creating environments where young people feel seen, valued, supported, protected, and connected before violence, peer pressure, or the streets claim their attention first. Over the past weeks, I've attended meetings at Community Board 12, Community Board 13, and the emergency town hall meeting at Roy Wilkins Park with fellow council member Jennifer, Second Vice President Jennifer, and many other elected officials and school officials after the tragic murder of Jaden Pierre. The pain in that room, the frustration, the fear, the urgency expressed by families and community members were deeply felt by everyone in that room, standing room only. District 28 serves approximately 24 plus students. And if you think about that, that's about 42,000 families throughout our communities. So this is not just a number, this is tens of thousands of lives connected through our schools every single day. And while we reflect on violence impacting our youth, we also need to recognize the growing tensions and pain that many communities around New York City are feeling right now. In one of the most diverse districts in this city, our strength has always been the ability to coexist, communicate, and lead with humanity, even during difficult moments. Hate, violence, fear, and division toward any community cannot be normalized, um, cannot become normalized for our children. Our students are watching how we, as adults, respond to conflict, disagreement, and pain. So let's continue choosing dialogue like we do here over division, humanity over hatred, and community over chaos. Tonight, all I ask for us to do tonight is reflect on our role in shaping the next generation. Schools can't do this work alone. Parents can't do this work alone. Communities can't do this work alone. It's going to take partnership, it's going to take presence, and it's going to take accountability. We must continue investing into mentorship, mental health, after school opportunities, youth leadership, and stronger relationships between all of us, families, and schools. And as one of my favorite authors, Viktor Frankl, once said, when we no longer are able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. So tonight, that challenge becomes to all of us, and maybe there's even a lesson in the way we view the New York Knicks. They brought this city together good lately. The New Yorkers have been rallying behind them, not just because they're finally winning in the playoffs, but because they're playing with heart, resilience, accountability, and teamwork. I'm a Knicks fan. So this is what strong communities require too. When people show up for one another, commit to the mission, and believe in something bigger than themselves, powerful things begin to happen. We start winning. So let's not let's let these tragedies not only break our hearts, but let them strengthen our commitment to our children, presence, mentorship, accountability, and community. Because every child deserves the opportunity to grow old enough to become who they were meant to be. So thank you for continuing the show for District 28 and for all the families and future of our children. District 28 is the great because we're united in purpose and stronger for our families. And on that note, I want to get to thank you for the hearts. To one of my favorite parts on how we reflect on all of our community, we celebrate all the holidays of May. So May, I want to acknowledge it is Mental Health Awareness Month. We're going to focus on reducing stigma and providing education and improving mental wellness. It is also Older Americans Month. So we're going to celebrate our seniors. You go, Paquita. And it's National Women's Health Month. You know what that's going to lead to. I'm not up to the holiday yet, but you know what that's coming with. It's also Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. It is also National Stroke Awareness Month, Skin Cancer Prevention Month, Wildfire Awareness Month, National Foster Care Month. Again with the, okay, Pakita, you was knocking it all out. National Physical Education and Sport Week, National Day of Prayer, National Children's Mental Health Awareness Day, International Day of Action for Women's Health, Islamic Festival of Eid al-Adha, Say that again? Yes, Al-Adha. Buddhist Vesak, and Christian Pentecost, which also May marks Jewish Heritage Month and is a month for devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary in the Catholic religion. And did I not say it was also Mother's Day month? Like Mother's Day is coming up this Sunday, and I know we have a lot of moms on this council, so happy early Mother's Day and happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in the virtual realm. But with that, I'd like to take this time to take a breather, drink some water as I get to introduce our amazing superintendent. And I really want to stress that word superintendent, Dr. Blake, for all his leadership, and looking forward to his report as I bring him up now.
Thank you, Quinton. And good evening to everyone. Are you hearing me? Can hardly hear myself. So let's say good afternoon and welcome. And also just to add to the list, I want to say happy Principals Day that just went in this month, and also happy Teachers Appreciation Week. We have to lift up our educators as well. All right, so as usual, our mission and vision is very, very important to our district. We are beautifully diverse, varied, coming from countless racial, ethnic, language, and belief backgrounds. And in spite of that, we commit to striving for the inestimable contribution to the lives of our scholars. It's basically looking at our diversity as our strength and to use that to really improve our scholars' life and well-being. Of course, my priorities are the same. It's about improving outcomes in mathematics, literacy, and to reduce absenteeism. In fact, the district, in my report tonight, you'll see that we're doing a great job in reducing chronic absenteeism. And of course, we continue to lift up and increase parent engagement in our community. This week, we also had the testing. There was some little snafu, and we were able to overcome that in terms of the failure of the app. It was right across New York State. So schools were told to make it up in the testing window, which is still up until May 15th. So we have some non-negotiables or guardrails for our classes. When I go along the district, every classroom must be standard aligned instruction, small group instruction, and then explicit teaching where the teachers model and guide our youngsters to independent practice. Active student engagement is also emphasized, and then data-driven differentiation. Every kid is different. We try to use the data to adjust the needs and to really provide core instruction for our students. Right, we want to welcome my new deputy superintendent after a long, almost 8 months or so without a deputy. We have finally gotten to that stage where I'm proud to say that my right-hand partner in this work is being introduced as a Deputy Superintendent, Angela Tushman. You'll hear from her tonight, dedicated New York City public educator for over 25 years, and she has deep roots in District 28. She's a proven leader at JHS Junior High School 217, recently as just Monday. And prior to that, she worked as principal as well at PS 175 at the Lynn Gross Discovery School. She has expertise in every section of leadership, a recognized model principal to the Lighthouse Collaborative, and she loves to do the career-connected learning at her school. So Angela's vision is committed to fostering equity, excellence for every student in our community through collaborative leadership. We're thrilled, I'm thrilled to have a leader who truly knows and loves the District 28 community, and she's in collaboration with me as we lead the Grade 28. So you'll be seeing Angela tonight. I just want to say publicly congratulations for having her on board, and she is indeed the right choice. We made many different selections, and Angela came out on top without even a doubt. So you'll hear from her tonight. I just want to introduce that to the CEC. Summer Rising, key dates and announcement, July 1. Summer Rising begins for K-8 students. Our district is a K-8 district. July 3, Summer Rising closed in observance of Independence Day. August 7th, Summer Rising program ends for all 6th to 8th graders. And August 14th, Summer Rising program ends for K-5. And parents, August 12th, Summer Rising ends for extended year students. So all of our Summer Rising sites are staffed by principals in charge and also by site supervisors. And we're actively staffing for the instructional positions to give our students, our young scholars, a wonderful summer experience. Small class size, yes, we have applied for those in the city, and we are currently waiting for the guidance and direction about the release of these funds and the approval status. I think something went on where I'm no longer sharing. See if I could get back to that. All right. Could you take me back? You just cut off from sharing. All right, I'll just continue the presentation anyway. So I was talking about summer school. The next thing I want to speak about is the whole idea of our attendance. In District 28, we have really stepped up with our attendance. 91.3% to date, which is beautifully done. We're above the city's average of 89.7%. And chronic absenteeism in the district is 30.2%, still high. And we're trying to reduce that, but we're still above the city. So those are some positive trends in student attendance. And of course, I have to thank and salute the parents for really getting kids ready for learning. New York City Public School guidance around AI. The draft is now available, and the district has shared updated guidance on the AI use, including the following: district and principal mandatory information sessions. AI supports learning, not teaching. People always come first. Student data is protected. Only approved tools may be used. Humans stay in the center and still in charge. Educators review all our AI use, and there are clear limits that exist. So you'll get more information about this on our website. I'll direct you to the city's website around artificial intelligence. That we just had a beautiful hiring fair because District 28 really want to be the first to really capture or attract good, best teachers, right? Best practices. So we had a beautiful hiring fair recently. We have over 400 applicants attended, reflecting strong interest in joining District 28. And of course, we are trying to strengthen our district pipeline. There's a pipeline through which leaders are spotted. And this pipeline is run by my senior principals who help to be a part of the shared decision making in the district. So that was well attended in collaboration with UFT. We have the MSK, My Brother's Keeper, My Sister's Keeper Queen Symposium, where certain leaders were recognized. Yours truly is among them. Dr. Vaness, Josephine Vaness, my other counterpart in the high school, Dr. Keturah Hardy, alongside some work. So we have really been celebrated for lifting up the work in the district for all students, especially for Black excellence and among all students in all different groups. We try to make sure the kids get the best experience ever, regardless of any title or labels. We're here to in service of kids. Family Wellness Matters. We just want to lift up PS50. However, our own Southern Ray, the family leadership coordinator, She's a licensed social worker. She was involved in, this conducting this title PAC meeting, mental health workshop on April 1st that took place. And that was a very successful venture as well. Topics included building healthy family relationships, supporting children's mental health, and self-care. So I wanted to say thanks to Sonia. It was a hybrid session and it was well attended. We are beautiful with no work, no sports is very important. All work and no play makes Jack a dull person. So we have our intra-district basketball competition, which is well on the way, very well highly supported. We are looking to have our Final Four, and this is very exciting. February 15th, 4:30 p.m. at Queen's College. Our students will be vying for those, for the title. We want to thank Principal Sforza and our dedicated coaches and principals for their commitment to creating the rich and engaging experience for all our students. So we want to lift up that as well. Congratulations also to all my schools, but to PS 174, I want to shout them out for having grade 3 students selected for the Food Friends National Publication, which is highlighting their creativity. The school's artwork will be featured in a full color book celebrating student artists across the country, releasing on August 31st, 2026. So a special congratulations to the young artists from Miss Zidel's class, an outstanding achievement for the entire PS 175 and the entire District 28 community. And those are the nice, beautiful angels who are representing the district. I also want to lift up another school, all the schools, all 36 schools, but this time the spotlight is on PS 175 for students and their art teacher for being named PS Public School Art 2026 winners. So I want to clap them for that. This honor celebrates the creativity and collaboration of our talented young artists, right? We look forward to celebrating their work at the Metropolitan Museum of Arts this June. So those are the students who are being highlighted there. So I want to thank very much. I think I've been cutting off again. But I just want to say before I go, I want to thank you so much for your support. And at this time, I'd like to invite Angela, the new Deputy Superintendent, to say a few words. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much, Dr. Blake. Thank you, Quentin, and the entire CEC for having me here. Thank you for all of your confidence and congratulatory remarks I see in the chat and the hearts and the emojis. I think Dr. Blake explained a little bit of my background to you. I have been a school leader for 17 years. I've been in District 28 for 13 out of the 25 of my years with the DOE, or New York City Public Schools, we call it these days. So 13 of those years has been here in District 28. And as Dr. Blake shared, and I think most of you know, I was a principal. I was an assistant principal in the district, and then a elementary school principal at PS 175. So shout out to my old school that just got that beautiful honor with the art students there. Well done, Miss Baroni, the art teacher. And most recently, I am the principal at Middle School 217, right over here, up the hill, as we say. And so I am really grateful for this opportunity to lead alongside Dr. Blake and the rest of the district team. I am grateful to my principal colleagues who are supportive and excited, I think, about me taking on this new role, because I know how important leadership is. And I am really proud to support my colleagues and to be a champion for the students and families across the district. So I know many of you here, but I don't know everyone. So I'm looking forward to really getting out to the schools and meeting your communities. While I know the leaders of the schools, I don't know all of your communities just yet. So I'm getting ready to get that work started. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to make a brief visit to the pre-K center with Principal Rames and the new principals in the district who were having a PD there. And I was just so excited to be standing there in that beautiful space and seeing those adorable faces in the pre-K. So again, I look forward to meeting everyone and continuing the great work and leveling up all of the things that we are looking forward to here in District 28. One more thing I'll say is that Dr. Blake also mentioned the work of the leadership pipeline, and that is a piece that's near and dear to my heart. I was one of the founding members of that leadership pipeline team, and so that work will continue, and I will continue to have a strong presence supporting the principals that carry on that work for the district. So we'll be looking for our next round of school leaders, and the one to take over 217, Dr. Blake has a plan for, and I will work collaboratively with the new person to transition the school. So thank you all again, and I'll see you soon.
Back to Quentin.
Awesome. Thank you. Like another round of applause and emojis for Deputy Angela Tushman. What a great fit in the best district. We got one of our own, so that was a perfect fit to continue our greatness. So thank you. And I want to give this time to remind all principals to put he in front of your name, not you, Angela. So just in case you still, like you're not that anymore. So yes, please put P in front of your name so it'll be easier for us to acknowledge you later. And I do want to shout out again, happy Teachers Appreciation Month. We do appreciate you guys and all the staff in the school because we couldn't do this without you. So we appreciate you, and I wish we could do this monthly, but some of our budgets just don't allow it. But we do hold you guys close to our heart and want you to know that you're always appreciated because we couldn't do this without you. And I couldn't do this without this phenomenal council. So these other bubbles that you see in this phenomenal CEC council, these guys are working tirelessly behind the scenes while everyone's sleeping on their days off. We don't even take vacation. And no matter what, I can count on this council. So I just want to let you guys know, as parent leaders, that I appreciate you guys and I thank you for all the work you do and continue to do as the elected parent leaders you are. And all of us get to do a little bit better because we have the one and only AA in the city that goes the extra mile. Like, I'm not knocking any other AAs, but yes, Dorinda sets the bar so high, it should be a different name for the AA. And we're going to figure that out because other AAs come to her for her guidance and leadership. So I just want to appreciate Dorinda for thank you for just holding us all together. And we have a great community and a great district that make this all well worth it. So we're going to keep being great. And next up, I would like to invite one of our principals to give us highlights of why we're so great, but coming from PS 139, Principal Rowland.
Good evening, everybody. Can everybody hear me all right? Yeah, okay,
Yes.
great. So good evening. Good evening, members of the CEC, Dr. Blake, Deputy Superintendent Tushman, parents, community members. My name is Eleuterio Rolon. I am the very proud principal of PS 139. I am just wrapping up my 6th year at that school. But prior to this, I worked at the superintendent's office under a couple of predecessors of Dr. Blake's, and I have supported the school and actually worked with the last 3 principals before me at this school. So I kind of walked in with a leg up and a heads up on the community and the history of the school and what's going on and what's important. So tonight I've been asked to showcase our school and the many wonderful things going on there. But honestly, that story is much more about our amazing students, our incredibly talented and dedicated teachers, and our very supportive and engaged parent population as well. I'm just going to start sharing my screen here. Okay, everybody can see that?
You're muted.
So I'm sorry. That better? Okay, sorry about that. So we start off with our core values, which really informs all of our work and forms the cornerstone for all of the work that we do at the school with our kids. Honor, integrity, empathy, and leadership. These are constantly reinforced in the classroom and out throughout the school. And really the goal here is to, one, give our students as well-rounded an experience as possible while they're with us, but really thinking about who they are as they leave us and the kinds of young people that we're sending out into the world when they move beyond PS 139. That's always on our minds in everything we do. Our students are the Rego Eagles, and you'll see us refer to as that throughout. We have currently 578 students in our student enrollment. Of those, 17% are students with disabilities, 22% are multilingual learners. We have about 13 languages represented throughout the building. 10% are students in temporary housing. 10% are also immigrants, and there obviously is a lot of overlap between those. As far as academics, we are very proud of the upward trend we show in our English language arts and our state exams. There was a little dip there in 2022, right after the pandemic, but after that, we have been on a very positive upward trend. And that, again, is a testament to all of the hard work of our teachers and so many different innovations and practices going on throughout the school. It's a very exciting time for us. We actually have had several schools in the district come to visit us to see what we're doing and try to replicate our practice, which is an honor beyond compare. Our math scores show pretty much the same trend. Again, very strong upward trend and very strong improvement from year to year. We recognize excellence in our students in a couple of different ways, and these happen every single month. Our SOAR Awards, SOAR stands for Spotlight on Academic Rigor, to play on our Eagle mascot. During our SOAR Awards, we recognize our students not only for the academics excellence, but for their exemplification of the core values throughout the school and in our daily lives. So what happens is during the SOAR Awards ceremony, our students showcase something that's going on in the grade. So there'll be a project, there'll be some kind of work that they display. Parents come into the building, they get to walk around and do kind of like a little gallery walk. They get to ask the kids questions about their work, and they're always proud to explain what they're doing and talk about the things that they've learned. Once that part of the ceremony is over, we move on to the actual awards presentations, and there you see some of our kids proudly displaying their certificates. And again, this happens every single month. Our other event is our Classroom Connections, and this was actually something proposed by one of our SLT parents a couple of years ago, and it really has taken off and become a cornerstone of the building. So during our Classroom Connections, parents are once again invited into the building, and you'll see a picture there on the bottom of the screen. They actually go into the classrooms and they watch a lesson taking place, and they get to see the stuff that goes on every single day with their children. Immediately following that part, we gather in the cafeteria and we do a Q&A with the teachers of that grade, the grade that was being showcased that month. And again, something that was proposed by one of our parents that has become a huge hit over the years. But we have life beyond the classroom, right? So our ENL and our students in temporary housing, we do Saturday academies for that population of students, and we just wrapped up a 10, 12-week program. We run it so that it kind of coincides and leads right up to testing time and gives the kids a little bit of an extra push, a little bit of an extra jump to catch up on whatever needs to be caught up on right before testing time. And that's we usually see some pretty good results with that. In addition to that, we have our arts programs and concerts. We have a very robust arts program. Our music teacher not only sees the kids during the regular day, but also works with them to put on shows throughout the year and different concerts. She runs 2 different glee clubs, so senior and a regular and junior glee club. And we also have arts partners that come to the building and work with the kids, again, putting on performances, doing the shows, and they run the graduation performances for our 5th grade and our kindergarten stepping up ceremony. We have a very active student council that leads the work of our Regal Eagles in the community. So they exemplify the core value of leadership in the school. They run the morning announcements, the Pledge of Allegiance every morning, and they cycle through the different members of the student council that do that every morning for us. But in addition to that, they run separate events that engage the school as a whole with them at the forefront of it. So we have done a pet supply drive, we have done a food drive, we have done a Valentine's for Vets event. Last year, we had the holiday visit to a nursing home that they did along with the Glee Club, and they visited the folks there, and just exemplifying our core values and being out in the community and showing what it means to be a Regal Eagle and what that's all about. We also have a very active athletics part of our student experience. We have a Champs after school program that does volleyball and flag football, and they cycle those two sports. We have a Regal Eagles basketball team. We have a Regal Eagles soccer team, and those teams participate in the inter-district games, and they play against other schools. We have a Regal Eagles cheer squad, and the cheerleaders are once again something that was spearheaded by one of our PASLT parents a couple of years back, has really become another cornerstone of the student experience and has added so much to our school spirit. We're very proud of our cheerleaders. After school clubs, our students get to participate in 15 different activities, all taking place after school. The numbers in the parentheses are the grades that these clubs serve. So as you can see, it is a very robust program that spans across all of our grades. That last one there, archery, is new. That's just kicking off this weekend. We're running as a Saturday event just to kind of see how it goes for a couple of weeks. We'll see if that makes it into the final list for next year. But we're looking forward to that too. We're excited. We have a great response to that. That archery program actually filled up really quickly, so it might be something that we have to really hold on to. And then there are our teachers. Our most recent survey results here speak for themselves. Obviously, we're doing something right, and we're very, very proud of our teachers. Nothing in this building happens without them. And I have never missed an opportunity to brag about our teachers, and I am more than beyond blessed to be working with this team of people. One of the metrics there that I'm most proud of is that in the last 6 years, we have only lost 3 teachers. People don't tend to leave the school. So we've only had 3 teachers over the last 6 years that have moved on to another school, not including, of course, retirements, and can't stop them from retiring, unfortunately. But again, that very low turnover speaks to the commitment in the community that these teachers experience and the support that they experience in the school. And that's something that we're all very proud of. And then there are our parents and our families. Again, our most recent survey data here, again, shows that overwhelmingly our parents are supportive and engaged in our school. They are happy with what's going on. We have so many events going on for them. In fact, another one that we're very proud of is the fact that we have approximately 120 parents coming into the building every single month between the different events that we have going on. And these events take place during the day, during the school day. They can be taking place in the evenings. Some of them are on Saturdays. We just had a very successful yoga program that wrapped up with our parents. English classes wrapped up with our parents. The English classes have recently moved to Monday nights now, so we're doing those on the evenings for the next few weeks. And just the different events and workshops run by our parent coordinator, and our PA does a tremendous job with a lot of events that are run. There's a short list there, but there's so much more that happens at our school. Again, run by our parents, for our parents, and we are very grateful for all of that. So with that, I will thank everybody for the time and wish everybody a good evening and have a good night. Thank you.
I want to say thank you, Principal Rowland. Like, my jaw was dropping. Rigo Eagles, let's go. I want to come to the next game. Like you guys look like y'all are kicking butt over there, and I'm sitting here like I'm gonna go to your website. I'm gonna go to your calendar because we need to show up to some of these games and root on the Rigo Eagles. You guys
Absolutely.
are
We'll
looking
have a
great.
t-shirt ready for you.
Awesome. Yes, yes. It's getting summer, so I'm a small trying to, bulk up. Need to fit. And yes, archery. That's awesome. That's the first time I heard anyone mention archery. So this is why our district is great, everybody, because we have schools like this that set the bar. Once you do it, then you'll see it ripple, the ripple effect to other schools. But thank you, Principal Rowland. And congratulations, Eric, for being the liaison to such a great school. Like,
Thank you.
all the schools are great, but he got archery. Just so that is cool. So thanks again for coming up. And I see you parents in the chat. Y'all were just emoji all night and just showing your support. So I definitely appreciate you. Eric, say something.
Archery. No. Look, this is all great, and it's wonderful to see the echo here. Wonderful to see the academic scores going up year over year, back from 2020 till 2026, or 2025, I should say, both in reading and math. It's fantastic, and the parental involvement seems terrific. I know there's a bit of tension from some of the events that were loved that have perhaps been replaced. I don't know, Principal Rowland, maybe you can address that a little bit with respect to the Star Student Awards and the spelling bee. I know that's something that people really appreciated in the past. Perhaps they've morphed into other activities. But if that's something you could address, I think that would make a lot of parents really happy to understand.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? What was the question? Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Oh, no, that's me. Go ahead.
You repeat the question.
Oh, you couldn't hear me. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, cool. No. So in terms of the question itself, like the academic performance speaks for itself, and archery as well as the basketball team is wonderful and brings in a lot of the community. We love the events that you're having on the weekends to bring the community closer together. I know there's been some questions about some of the beloved events coming back, the spelling bee, some of the Star Student Awards, and maybe you can just touch upon that because I know that's been a point of inquiry over the past few months.
Yeah, so absolutely. So we absolutely recognize our students on a regular basis, not just as a whole class, but and on the individual level as well. So that's always been in place and will continue to be in place. Things like the spelling bee, the district spelling bee, I think about half the schools in the district participated. Something that we're looking at to do next year. But we have a couple of other things in line too, and I think once we start unveiling some of those things, I just met with a couple of my teachers yesterday, in fact, about some plans for next year, which I don't really want to discuss at this point because they're very, very in the early stages. But I think once these things are unveiled, no one's going to be asking you about a spelling bee. Let's put it that way.
Looking forward to hearing more.
All right.
All right, again, thanks again, Principal Rowland. And yes, I'll be coming to that next basketball game, and I'm a size small because it's summer. Yeah. So, but yeah. But yes, thank you. So next on our agenda, I want to bring up our council member, Cecily, who's going to enlighten us on how, I'll let her tell, but this is AI conversation. Cecily, it's all yours.
Let me unmute myself. You guys can hear me okay? All right, let me switch to. All right, so first of all, I want to start by just grounding where I'm from. My older son goes to PS 144. He's a first grader, and I'm also a CEC member. So today, I think I'm looking at this both personally as a mom, just thinking about how my own kid, how to think about safety and what's helpful for my own child from AI perspective, and also as someone listening to families across the district. I'm not here to say AI is all good or bad. I know that this is a very hot topic right now, or highly debated topic. I have seen many ways that AI can be helpful when used carefully, and I use AI at work. It's actually a mandate on a daily basis, but I also believe that classroom use is very different, especially for our younger learners, right? So going into today's agenda. I'm gonna give you guys a very brief example of how I've been using AI as a parent and how it's been helpful. And then I'll go into why the classroom use is different and what we have been hearing from parents and what are some of the practical things that we can do. And let's start. So my work actually requires me to travel very frequently. My older son, Aiden, he loves story time with me at nighttime. So it's roughly around 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. And he doesn't always read books independently very well, but he loves when I read to him. The main reason is because I always add my own perspective, my own voice, and my own little tweaks, and also my own tone, right? So that makes the story feel very personal. And I started looking for ways I could still read to him when I'm away, and AI made that possible. I was also able to create social emotional learning stories and add my own voice to it. Aiden is a very shy kid. He's very sensitive. I'm always trying to figure out ways to tell him, hey, if you run into some kind of a situation in school, how do you handle that? And this is how I use AI to incorporate some of the stories for storytelling. Hope you guys can hear it. Can you guys hear it? No? Okay. Do I need to turn on my speaker?
This is the story of Aiden. It's careful.
That one? Okay, technical difficulties. You guys hear it? No? Share.
You have to stop sharing and then try to share again, but move the toggle where it says share sound.
Oh, share sounds. Got it.
This is the story of Aiden and his care coin. One afternoon, Aiden walked through the door feeling a little heavier than usual. His steps were slow, and his shoulders curled in like he wanted to disappear. Mommy noticed right away. She knelt beside him gently and asked, Aiden, something happened today, didn't it? Aiden nodded, but didn't speak yet. Mommy held his hand, warm and safe. They sat together on the couch. The room was quiet, just the warm evening light and Mommy's calm voice. After a little while, Aiden whispered, Some kids laughed at my rocket shirt. Mommy squeezed his hands gently. She didn't rush him. Every word, every feeling, and little by little, Aiden's heart felt a tiny bit lighter. Then Mommy reached into her pocket. She opened her hand slowly, and inside was a tiny golden coin, glowing softly like a warm candle. Aiden's eyes widened. Mommy whispered, This is a care coin. It helps you remember what deserves your care and what doesn't. The coin shimmered, almost like it was listening. Aiden held the care coin in both hands. It felt warm and comforting, like it was gently reminding him. Your feelings matter. Your choices matter. You matter. Mommy smiled and said, You don't have to care about everything, just the things that deserve your heart. Aiden nodded softly. The next morning, sunlight filled Aiden's room. He stood by his dresser, holding the care coin. Its gentle glow made him feel brave. He looked at his Darth Vader outfit. The one he loved, the one that felt like him. The care coin warmed in his hand, almost whispering. Wear what makes you happy? Aiden smiled. He knew exactly what to choose. When he arrived at school, some kids noticed his Darth Vader outfit right away. They giggled and pointed, saying, Why are you wearing a Halloween costume? Aiden's tummy wobbled. His heart dipped. He touched the care coin in his pocket. It glowed gently, and suddenly he remembered Mommy's words. His face softened. He took a tiny breath. He wasn't afraid, just unsure. And that was okay. Aiden held the care coin in his hand. He stood tall, not loud, not angry, just steady. He said in a calm voice, I like what I'm wearing. The other kids blinked. They weren't expecting confidence. Their pointing slowed. The giggles softened. They stepped back a little, unsure now themselves. Aiden didn't stay to argue. He didn't need to. He knew his care was precious. Aiden turned and walked toward the swings with a peaceful little smile. The care coin glowed softly in his pocket. Warm as sunlight, he chose himself. He chose peace. He chose what mattered to him. And that was the bravest choice of all. And that night, when he told Mommy what happened, the care coin glowed again, just a soft reminder that he had used it well. You only have a few care coins each day. Who will you choose to give them to?
So this is actually the first story that I created, and you can tell like it's very crappy. It's my first attempt using multiple AI tools to kind of narrate in my own voice. Like none of the narration was actually me narrating the story. I provided some story guidelines, right, and used ChatGPT to kind of turn it into the story narration, and then put into 11 Labs and also just set one sentence or two for 11 Labs to consume my own voice and turn that into a audio, and then use CapCut to merge the audio and my voice to turn this into a story. And you can tell like it's not perfect because throughout the story, the narration is kind of on and off, and the voice volume was also on and off. But this is the first attempt, and I would say it does show the promising side of AI. Like as a parent who constantly travel, who has always been, away and able to spend story time at night with my kids. For some nights, this is half an hour of work when I was on the plane, put it together and send it to his dad, and then he can show him, right? So, but what I want to say is what I choose to use at home with my own child, and this is also a real story where he was getting made fun of because he was wearing like a sweatshirt and also what he wore for Halloween, and he came back was very disappointed. So I was telling him that, hey, like there are some things that you care about, there are some things that you don't, right? So this to me is a very different experience, and it helped me as a parent, but it's very different from introducing AI in classrooms across an entire school system. That's why we get into, when we look at the AI guideline, I think there are also some reminders in the chat, right? We have the survey open until May 8th. For now, it seems like we are greenlighting using AI as a teacher co-pilot, but eventually we might get to the phase where we have to use AI for student co-pilot, right? That's why the DOE is defining like what should be allowed and what should not be allowed, and should we come up with our own like AI tool scorecard, right, to kind of guide that journey. So this is one short example, and how AI is using school, and the standards must be higher because the decision affects many, many kids, right, at once, and children of different ages. Someone who is, 6-year-old should be using AI differently than someone who is in middle school and high school, and also their learning needs, right? Their developmental stages, and also feminine expectations. Me, I'm very comfortable, like at home, I speak to Alexa and encourage my son to speak to Alexa all the time, right? And also kind of validate what Alexa says. I intentionally play songs that Alexa might get it wrong and kind of train him into the thought of, hey, Alexa is not perfect. Alexa might be wrong. And we need to know when Alexa is wrong, right? And I try to be careful and use these kind of tools and resources when I'm around to kind of point out when AI has flaws. So going into family concerns about AI in classroom, I do hear that parents are asking for trust, transparency, and clear guidelines before AI become part of the classroom learning. And families are also, I think it's actually for families also worry about whether AI could make students more dependent on tools instead of developing their own reasoning. They worry about children receiving information that sound confident, but maybe wrong. AI does that all day long. They're worried about how student data is being used and whether AI systems can reinforce bias. And for younger students like Aiden, the concern is even more serious, right? And for elementary schools, when our children are still building fundamental skills like reading, writing, questioning, making mistakes themselves, solving problems, and also managing emotions and developing confidence. So I believe the answer here is not to reject AI out of fear and also not to just adopt it so quickly just because it is new. That's what's happening in a lot of workplaces, but that's not the same story for school systems. We need a very thoughtful and transparent approach with our children at the center. So I also listed some practical steps that families can take now. Always ask what AI tools are being used. Are teachers using AI tools as a co-pilot for themselves? Or what kind of AI tools are being used in the classroom for student facing? And also set very clear rules at home. Like myself, I set clear rules at home. Hey, we can only use Alexa when I'm around. And if we need to use ChatGPT or other tools for validating, let's say, how far is Earth from the sun, right? And we can use AI tools to validate those knowledge, and it has to be when I'm around. And always like supervise, especially for younger children, and teach children that AI can support their thinking, but should not replace it. That is very important because they have to know what is right or wrong, right? Right now, like the 6-year-old might be able to tell, hey, Alexa is singing a completely wrong song. I asked Alexa to sing something else, but that is very much on the surface level, right? So we have to train the children that AI can support their thinking and can make a very thick book to be very consumable in a very fast manner, but it should not replace their thinking and logical reasoning. At the same time, I would say this responsibility cannot just fall on families, right? Like the DOE needs to provide very clear and parent-facing guidance. The current guidance that we have been looking at, it still has a lot of ambiguity and it's lacking a lot of details, right? I'm sure a lot of us have been giving a lot of feedbacks and what tools are approved and what data is protected, what age groups the tools are appropriate for, and how exactly accuracy and bias are reviewed, and how families can ask questions or request alternatives like past the May 8th deadline. I also want families to be aware of the timeline. Like we talked about May 8th, and my understanding is that this is not the only opportunity for inputs and feedback. There will also be another feedback window on the AI playbook between May and June. And the June playbook is expected to include a lot more detailed guideline, including family notification process, AI tool evidence-based scorecard, etc. So that matters because parents should know when AI tools are used in their children's education and what those tools can do and what data they're connecting with using and what their limitations are and who is accountable. So this is exactly a time for parents, educators, CEC members, and also school communities to stay engaged. What does good look like? We don't know. We're navigating that together. We're defining that together. So it's very important to get involved right now at this moment. and not just to react after decisions are made. That's help shape the guardrails before these tools are scaled. And our children will grow up in the AI-enabled world. That is for sure. The question is whether we can prepare them for a world in a way that protects their development, their privacy, their confidence, and their ability to think for themselves. So this is the balance I hope we can work towards together. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. We're clapping over here. That was powerful. We need to send that clip to the DOE so they could just put it as part of their presentation. Because you were very just, coming from a parent's perspective, that was very enlightening. And you're right. This is the world that we're growing into. So thank you, Cecily, for that. And yeah, very important points. And I love that book. I'm gonna need to create 6 of those. Oh, maybe 3. So I appreciate that. Awesome. And now we get to our part of the agenda where we have the public comment. But before there, do we have any elected officials that might have come through that I didn't get to acknowledge? And while we go to the elected officials, I want to give this moment to principals who stayed with us to bring greetings and say hi. I'm going to start with Principal John Grego.
Hello, everybody.
All in the chat.
Yep. I'm just going through the chat, answering any other questions anybody has on just like miscellaneous items. I wanted to thank everybody for coming this evening. I wanted to echo President Quentin's opening remarks. I absolutely believe we do have to work together, and I have been a member and a part of District 28 for 19 years now. So I love every minute of it. I've worked with the new deputy superintendent for 13 years. I know her for 13 years. We were MAPs together at 217. So I know that she's like 100% super duper on board, ready to rock and roll. I thank Dr. Blake for hiring her. She's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, so I'm really, really excited for like the coming rest of the school year and next year and all that kind of stuff. I know it's going to be all good things. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Happy May. Happy all those things you guys said earlier. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Principal Grego. And before I even get to the next principal, I just want to remind all the principals to make sure you check your email. And we've been sending out the message for the CEC awards for your graduations. So please definitely check those and send us the RSVPs. But for your awards, for your students graduating, and also please RSVP for our Principals Legislative Breakfast. It's the Principals Legislative Breakfast that we put on every 2 years for principals to come and address their concerns to our community stakeholders. So we would love to see you there. It will be catered. So we got you. We're going to take care of you. It's going to be amazing. And we're looking forward to seeing you there. So please RSVP, and we hope to see you all. Next principal, we have Principal Nicholas Petrello.
Good evening, everyone. Happy May. I want to give a shout out to Deputy Superintendent Tushman. That's a fantastic honor. I worked very closely with her the past 2 years as a facilitator with the Aspiring Leader Pipeline. She's a fantastic, fantastic leader. I know we are in very, very good hands with her there. We're down to 37, I think, school days left, the final push of the year. Hopefully the weather has turned now. A lot of exciting things are happening across the district. I know 121 is doing a lot of great things with the time we have left. But I want to thank you all for joining tonight. It's been a great evening, hearing a lot of things from a lot of different people. Keep up the fantastic, fantastic work, everyone. And happy Mother's Day, happy Mother Figures Day. And please take some rest and enjoy and celebrate you. So thank you all for a wonderful evening. Be well.
Thank you, Principal Pacello. Next, we have Principal Hanley.
Hello there. Echoing Principal Grego. Happy May, everybody. Really echoing everything he said and Principal Petrello. We are so happy and proud to have our new Deputy Superintendent, Angela Tushman, with us here. We are excited for the great work that's going on in this district to continue. We are busy at PS 54 like everybody else with all their state testing. We had our in-person May parent-teacher conferences tonight, and the school was filled. We had two domes there, like planetarium domes, and the kids had a ball. So we're happy. The weather is changing. Please, we have so many outdoor activities planned that we just want it to be really nice for the children. But pleasure being with everybody tonight.
Thank you. And I believe that you are our last phenomenal principal. What principal? Who?
Oh, Eric Van Gutton.
Yes, Principal Van Gutton. Yes, Principal Van Gutton. That's
Hello, everyone.
there you are. There you
Yes.
are.
Great, great. Well, I want to echo many of the comments of my colleagues. And again, congratulations to the new Deputy Superintendent Teuchman, who I've had the honor with working right across the street, PS 117 and MS 217 are neighbors, and we couldn't have had a better selection for Deputy Superintendent. I look forward to seeing many of you at the legislative breakfast coming up very soon. I think it's one of the nice traditions of D28 near the close of the year. We're very busy at 117, just closing the school year. It's very important that we close it very well, and we head into the summer with everything in order. And we're just I appreciate the presentation on AI. That's something that definitely, even in the elementary schools, is a consideration. And we are having a day with AI very shortly at our school. We look forward to that. We're having a cyber safety day as well. And we're really looking forward to our multicultural festival, a 2-day event. And this year we have a community cookbook. Recipes are being shared by family members, staff members. We'll be printing this cookbook, and then during the festival, many of our stakeholders will be making those recipes and sharing them out. So it's going to be a really wonderful thing. It's a busy time of year, but an exciting time of year. And again, I look forward to seeing many of you at the legislative breakfast.
Looking forward to seeing you too, Principal Gunn. So, all right. Oh, so next we're gonna have our parent comment, and the next parent I want to introduce. Did you sign up? Did you sign up? Oh, you just want that's today. Oh, we got a parent that came in person that just wanted to chill with us. We appreciate you because we have a lot of empty chairs collecting dust, but we have 2 chairs tonight that aren't collecting dust from parents that just want to hang out with us. Thank you, Jessica Zillow. So we've had a lot of comments, mostly concerns when it came to busing. When it came to busing all over the city, but especially in our district, among all districts with different concerns. And it's always like, who do we talk to? We have OPT, we have the schools, we call the district, the principals. We contact so many people when it comes to busing because we're all frustrated when things happen, even to our own council members. And she had to go through all these reports and stuff just to get a simple resolution. I don't know what the future holds, but I do know that we're doing what we can to make that journey easier to navigate and feel supported more with the bus company. So today, as I continue to go to PEP meetings around, I've been able to meet one of the members, I'm going to have him introduce himself from Consolidated Bus Transit, which has, he's going to tell us how many routes. I think it's about 10 routes in our district. And he's decided to come here and share some news with us and, see how he can support us. First of many bus companies in my vision. But I would like to invite James Jimmy, let me see him, bring him up to introduce himself and share his, what our plans are for the future.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me in the meeting. There's a lot of good messages going on here, and I appreciate the time. And I'm going to just make a brief statement. A consolidated bus, I represent Consolidated Bus Transit. We have about 1,400 buses, not too many in Queens and maybe not in your district, but I'm here to kind of create an avenue for parents, to listen to parents, to engage with parents, to engage with communities, any concerns or any feelings you need to express about our bus company. I want to understand your concerns, the expectations, any ideas you may have. Transporting your children, it's a priority of ours, and even more than that, it's a responsibility, and that responsibility is built on a lot of things, and mainly feedback. And I'm here to just kind of open up, listen to feedback, but also going forward in the future, be there for any future feedback. I want parents to be able to speak out so that we can address those situations and take them seriously. I take everything seriously. It's my goal to be there, to have a clear path for anyone who has any, again, issues, comments, concerns. Maybe it's even hopefully there's some praise for drivers or matrons in there. But anything I can do, I will be a direct source for you guys. If I don't have any answers today, I will work on it. I'm going to leave my email address in the chat. And if I can help anyone in any way, I'm here. Please allow me, and I'll prove to you that I'm here to help. And Consolidated Bus, we're here to listen and try to do better.
Thank you, Jimmy. Like, that's the first of many bus companies, but I wanted to thank you again because you've been showing up to as many events as possible, sharing your information, your support, and I'm definitely going to share your information with our district because I know they get the concerns directly. So our FLC, Sonia, is very on top of it, and we have new deputy and we have our superintendent. So I look forward to this collaboration, this partnership, and it could be the start of the other ones following. I was going to say falling in line, but just following the same type of support to help our families with their concerns. So thank you again, Jimmy. Yes, put your information in the chat, and I will personally share your information with our council members in our district so we could all have it and could create that pipeline for us to communicate and share our concerns.
Thank you for having me and sharing your time.
No problem. And next, we have parent Leonie Jameson. I hope I said that right. I know Leonie. I never said her last name.
Hi, my smoke alarm just went on when you said that. I wanted to speak on the AI guidance. I thought the presentation was excellent. Thank you for that. I wanted to mention that I was appointed to the AI Working Group Committee. We were promised to be able to give input on the guidance before it was released, but we did not have that opportunity. We did propose many changes to make sure that the personal data of students that's collected through AI is better protected, including privacy impact statements, a test for algorithmic bias, and data security audits. Those were rejected as well. Our concerns go far beyond the privacy aspect, but the privacy aspect is very important. So I wanted to also bring to your attention the fact that on Monday, the state controller did an audit of DOE's privacy practices and procedures and found that they were very wanting in many areas, that over 100 student data breaches have occurred in the last few years, that DOE keeps no central record of what ed tech apps are being used in particular schools and which data is being collected and shared by those apps, and many other highly technical critiques of the way that the DOE protects student data. And I'll put a link to that audit in the chat, as well as our response to the audit. But I think what it underlines is that right now, DOE's privacy protections are not strong. They actually put together no new ones, or proposing no new ones, even though AI does represent a greater threat to student privacy than most other ed tech tools because of the way it data mines personal information and uses it to improve their product. And so I think that people should be very concerned. They should be especially concerned because what I've heard from parents and teachers is that some teachers are actually assigning AI tools like ChatGPT to be used by students as off-the-shelf products with no particular privacy vetting process being used at all. And even ChatGPT says these products should not be used by any student under 13 and no student between 13 and 18 without parental consent, because of the way the personal data can be exposed to the public and used in ways that are very harmful and undermine student safety. So I want parents to be wary of that. I also wanted to alert parents to the fact that Naviance, which is used in almost every high school in New York City, has been found to use data in ways that violate privacy laws and the federal wiretapping law. And every New York City family whose student has used Naviance in the last few years is eligible for a portion of a court settlement that's over $17 million in total. And DOE has not yet alerted parents to the fact that they're eligible for this settlement. And it's concerning because I've yet to hear from a student or parent who's been alerted to this. So I'll put information about that court settlement as well. But meanwhile, DOE allows Power School, which also suffered a huge breach last year, to provide up to 16 different programs, all of them collecting personal student data to schools. And many of these programs are still being used. Thank you.
Thank you. Like, you just dropped the mic a few times, Leonie. Like, thank you. And yes, please put that information in chat so families can check to see if they're entitled to any of that class action lawsuit. I'm always loving when those come by. Get my little $17 and stuff. But sometimes more. I've gotten more. But yes, thank you for always bringing such valuable information, and thank you for the work you do behind the scenes, always looking out for our families and our community. We appreciate you in all aspects. Next, we have our parent leader, Sasha Cruz.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you. I'm sorry that I'm not there with you, but at least you know I'm in there in spirit. Sorry. All right, let me just get my speech out here. All right, so I'm here today, deeply concerned parent regarding serious safety concerns currently circulating throughout my children's school community. My boys have come home expressing fear and anxiety regarding reports of violent behavioral incident involving a student who has returned to the school environment following a psychiatric intervention from attempting to kill his mother. These are 9 and 10-year-old students discussing the situation amongst themselves, and regardless what is rumor versus fact, the reality is that the students are scared, parents like me are alarmed, and the emotional impact on the children is becoming really real. At this age, children should be focused on learning, building friendships, and feeling safe, not processing fears about violence or potential harm within their environment. While I understand and respect that student privacy laws must be followed, the lack of communication and visible action from the school leadership has only intensified fear and uncertainty within our parent community. Parents shouldn't have to rely on conversations between elementary age children to learn about situations that impact the well-being of our students and our staff. Parents should not feel unsupported in potentially dangerous situations, and students should not feel fearful while attending school. I'm concerned because, as many of you know, 2 years ago, we had a student that thought it was a joke to say that he was going to do a school shooting. Based on like the TikTok trends and all this, I don't feel safe. My kids don't feel safe with the child back in class this past Monday. It creates a lot of anxiety for me as a parent that sends my kid to school, for the teacher, and for everybody else. If he tries to kill his mother, how do I know my kid is safe? And I asked for this district for an immediate review of the school's crisis response to this. And I want safety for my kids. I don't want to fear that my kids might not come home. Thank you.
Thank you, Sasha, as always. And I think that's the one thing we all share as parents. We all want our kids to come home. Safety is a general concern that we all always agree on. And as always, please send us the information. We have a strong district team, and I'll definitely make sure that it is responded to, your concern. And unless we have anyone in our district team, I know Sonia. Um, let me see if she wants to.
Good evening. Yes, I'm here.
Yes. Is there any response you have?
No,
to-
definitely that you should reach out to us, reach out to the team, and then we'll look into it further.
No problem. Thank you as always. And next we have Ari Feldman.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Sorry, I'm changing rooms. I'm not waking up the little ones. So I just want to briefly speak about my concerns about the curriculum in our district, specifically the ELA curriculum. Our district, as I'm sure everybody at this point knows, uses HMH. And HMH is, for lack of a better word, deficient compared to the other options for curricula that were available to our schools. I know we've been using it for a few years now, and to be honest, it's not getting any better. Students don't read whole books ever. And this past year, we've asked our middle schools to use HMH. So now our middle schoolers are also not reading whole books. It was bad enough that the young ones weren't, everybody should be reading whole books. But the fact that our middle schoolers are also now not reading whole books is really terrible. We're doing our students a major disservice by not allowing them to be able to concentrate and build knowledge over the long term. There's an organization called the Reading League that rated various curricula across the country and determined which ones are considered knowledge building curricula. It's really important that students build knowledge because skills in a vacuum won't stick in your brain. And you can see that by the performance of our students, that they're not getting any better, especially in reading and math, of course. But it's the Reading League found that Wit and Wisdom, EL, those were the two other options, are among those curricula that they consider to be knowledge building curricula. HMH is not. HMH is very clearly, they're a big business, they're a publishing company, they're not an education company. So their business is in selling books, selling tech. They're a tech company. So they've got lots of bells and whistles, but they're not well written. The lessons aren't well written. The units are not built. The modules are not built very well. So teachers end up having to do a lot of work to make them work for their students. So I'm really concerned about the way that our district is going moving forward with HMH, when it's clearly not built for our students and not in the best interest of our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Ari, for your parents' leadership. I'll take that as a chance. Yeah. No, we will always elevate the concerns that we have here, and we appreciate that. And I want to take this time to acknowledge our district office, just to bring greetings. That was our last parent list member. We have Dr. Benoit.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, President Messiton, CEC, community. Thank you for always making this time for us and this space to share and to learn from each other. I do want to remind parents that they have until tomorrow, not just parents, the community at large, they have till tomorrow to give some feedback on the information that has been put out on AI. So again, we encourage everyone to share, what they know, what they would like to see, in order for the chancellor and his cabinet to put out the guidance for us moving forward. I also want to elevate May 15th. May 15th is going to be a very eventful day. In the morning, we're at the legislative breakfast. Thank you again, CEC. But in the afternoon, we're at Queens College for the D28 basketball tournament. So we want to thank, of course, Principal Sforza for, spearheading that, and all of the principals and coaches and teachers who've been supporting our scholar athletes. And then lastly, I want to wish all teachers in our community a happy Teacher Appreciation Week, and all the moms, all of those who play the role of moms, who hold the responsibilities of mothers, a happy Mother's Day this weekend. Thank you again, and be well.
Thank you, Dr. Benoit. I want to bring Stacy Palmer, special education.
Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon. Good evening. Hello. Happy May. Happy Thursday. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. To parents, I see some familiar names in the audience. So just wanted to wish, best wishes, and of course, congratulations to Deputy Tushman. That sounds so good. And greetings to everyone here. And if anything, because I'm all special education, if you have any questions and so forth, of course, reach out. We're always here to support. Thank you, Quentin.
Anytime. Thank you, Stacy. And of course, our FLC, she kind of spoke a little bit earlier, but the one and only Sonia, where you at? Where you at? Oh, there you are.
I'm
off camera.
here. I'm here. Good evening, everyone. It's always a pleasure to be here with you. I just wanted to kind of circle back to Quentin's initial statements when we were talking about the importance of community wellness, right? It's mental health wellness, it's society wellness, and all of these components contribute to academic wellness. And I know that I say this every month, but this month is May is Mental Health Wellness Awareness Month. And so I'm hoping that we continue to keep tabs on our kids, keep tabs on ourselves, keep tabs on our neighbors. There's a lot of things going on, and I've always said that if we don't focus on these other aspects of our lives, right, the whole child, but the whole community, then all these other things that we want to address, curriculum, data, they're going to stay at the sidelines. So I'm going to continue to be an advocate for community wellness, for mental health. I want to thank this amazing community for always being so strong and committed to this work. One thing I just want to say is May will be the last closing training for PAPTAs for the cycle that we start in September. End of the year responsibilities for PAPTAs. We're wrapping up with elections. And again, if you haven't held elections yet, please consider running for a position and supporting your school and leadership at the local level. So thank you again for having me. Thank you again for all the parent coordinators and everyone, but special shout out to the PCs who do so much to support families in our schools. So thank you so much and have a good evening.
Yeah, shout out to the PCs who are also invited to our legislative breakfast. So I'm looking forward to seeing you all there eating and breaking bread with you all. PCs, PTA presidents, and principals, because we want to acknowledge all the leaders in our schools helping our students thrive. And next stop, yep, oh wait, how can I forget our deputy Tishman, like from our office. I know she already said a lot earlier, but you've been getting a lot of hearts and shout outs. So if you want to say one last thing again, but you're gonna be here forever. So yeah, Deputy Tishman from the district office.
Hi, everybody. Yes, I think you heard a lot from me tonight, but I appreciate the opportunity to say something again. Sorry. I want to thank my colleagues, the principals, and everybody from the team who has given me your congratulations tonight. It's really special to me that you guys give me so much support, and I'm really excited to be on this journey with everyone. I am also listening to all the comments being made, and I'm taking it in, and I will debrief. Dr. Blake and I are both listening right now, and we will debrief on the comments that were brought up this evening. We don't just sit here and listen. We do take action in District 28. And so, I just want to assure those parents and speakers who brought up concerns this evening that they will be discussed and addressed accordingly. So again, I thank you guys for the time, and I thank you for your support. And I am really looking forward to this journey together. Have a great Mother's Day.
Thank you. Thank you. And happy Mother's Day to you as well and all the other moms. We'll keep saying that till the end of this meeting. And now I'd like to go through our phenomenal council members report so you can hear about, in brief, what we've been up to this past month. So turn this over to our wonderful recording secretary, who will go down the roll call list.
Thank you, President Clinton. First, we'll have our member report from our first Vice President, Lauren Clavin.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for being here with us. I want to thank Cecily for your presentation. It's as Cecily mentioned, this is a hot topic right now. I have been Quentin and I were in a meeting with the chancellor with other CEC members. I've been to different CEC meetings across the city, and I've never seen consensus on an issue like I have on this. It's really been remarkable. What I keep hearing from parents over and over again is why when we know all of the negatives to the encroachment of AI in education spaces, why is the DOE acting as if this is inevitability? I don't believe that it is unless we make it so. I think as Lainey said, the guidance that was issued by the by NYCPS is inadequate. I think it's important to note that the UFT is pressing for this really hard. I believe to the detriment of their own members, but that's another issue. And AFT, the national union received a $24 million grant from companies like OpenAI, Anthropic, and Microsoft. So I just think it's important to know the context of this as to why we're seeing this now, when we have a lot of data to suggest that AI is really dangerous for our kids' mental health. I suggest that you Google cognitive offloading to see and research that idea, familiarize yourself with that to see how this impacts our kids developmentally and cognitively. I do not believe that it is beneficial to their learning. And so, this is only going to be inevitable if we treat it as if it's inevitable. But I think we have an opportunity to stop this before 10 years from now, we look back on it like we look back on allowing 10-year-olds to have an Instagram account or Snapchat, right? People say this is inevitable. People may have said the same thing about cell phones in classrooms years ago, but now we have a statewide ban, right? So this is not inevitable. I really suggest going to look at the links that Lainey put in the chat. There is a petition. There is a citywide group that is joining other nationwide groups that are calling for a moratorium, a pause on AI until we can learn more. Show us the evidence that this is beneficial. If you can show me that this is going to make my kids' lives better and help them learn, great. But so far, I haven't seen that. So I think, again, this is really, I've seen a broad consensus on this issue like I haven't seen for almost anything else amongst parents across the city who are saying, hold on, why are we going full steam ahead with this in this moment? Right. So just thanks to Lainey for being here. I think this is really critical that we understand the context, why this is happening now, what forces are pushing this in our classrooms, and do what we can to educate ourselves and make that pause. So yes, there is that. There's also, I wanted to just mention that we do have primary elections coming up. I will always want to make sure that folks are aware that we can check our voter registration. The election is on June 23rd. I'm just going to put a link in the chat where you can see if you are registered. You have up until the 13th to actually register or to change your address if you're not currently registered. I'm always going to just plug that. It's super important. There's a lot of elections in Queens in this moment. And yeah, that link is in the chat to make sure that you are registered under your current address, so you don't have to go out of the neighborhood to go vote. That's super important. Going back to AI, because it wasn't mentioned in Cecily's wonderful presentation. I just have to say the environmental implications are really troubling to me. There are all kinds of facts and figures. That's not my strong suit, but I have read that AI gobbles up somewhere like 39 million gallons of water every day. Generative AI specifically. So I just think it's a hot issue for a reason, because I think it's critical to our kids' future. So I will stop there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lauren. Now we have our second Vice President, Jennifer Sobers, to give her report.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Just want to thank Cecily as well for especially setting forth a really balanced look at it. Yes, there are problems that I think I agree that there are difficulties, and I like that Leonie and her group are asking for a pause so that we can get some guardrails up so that we can possibly use the AI. But the fact that you showed us a wonderful way that you use the AI, and I think it's important for everyone to realize that it can possibly be a useful tool, but we just have to set those guardrails up. So I really like that balanced approach to your presentation. I attended two SLTs for my liaison schools. One was 121, which I think usually give a summary about, but I haven't done so for 55 in a while. And it's always a pleasure to visit that school. Principal is very, very good at being very organized and soliciting feedback from the SLT, especially the parents and the SLT on important matters. And one thing that, and he didn't know that was coming. because I don't usually get a chance to go in person, but he had a feedback from the SLT on our town hall. He wanted to be able to share the things that people liked and maybe wanted to see more of. And I thought that was a really great idea to do. Mostly it was positive feedback, and some wanted to hear maybe more about what the chancellor himself thought about certain things, as opposed to some of the people in his organization and his cabinet. Um, Felt more to some people like a meet and greet. But overall, it was pretty positive. The CEP goals for 55 are almost all going to be met. It doesn't look like they're going to meet the chronic absenteeism goal. And one thing that they do say, which I think other schools and principals have acknowledged and possibly and the district leadership as well. It's just the way that the chronic absenteeism is counted is also really difficult for some of the schools. And so once they hit a certain threshold, it's kind of hard for them to, fall under it. But what I did like about what the SLT was discussing was that yeah, maybe they have some difficulties each year about this particular problem, but they are committed to continuing to make goals, high goals in order to reach a lower chronic absenteeism. And they are very good about recognizing that it's not necessarily at the elementary school age, the students who don't necessarily want to show up, but it's also reaching out to the parents who have to bring the children there and making sure that they are able to, willing to bring them in any condition possible, whether they're busy, whether it's raining, snowing, or what have you. And they have a lot of tools and incentives that they've been implementing this year and in previous years to improve that. So they're working on that. They also have literacy initiatives that are wrapping up that are just really, really wonderful in the school. I also attended, as Quentin mentioned, the emergency community meeting following the death of the 15-year-old Jaden Pierre at Roy Wilkins Park, which is just steps away from where I'm actually live. And also that day, my daughter and her track team heard the gunshot when they were at the park, because that park is frequented by a lot of teams who practice their track, football, etc. And it's sad because I grew up in a neighborhood where I heard gunshots, and I guess I never wanted that for my children to be able to know the difference between firecrackers and gunshots and things of that sort. And I don't think any child anywhere should have to hear that, because this sort of violence not only tragically, awfully affects the student and child who's passed away, but also other people in their schools, other people in their communities as well. And at this meeting, it was standing room only. It was very inspiring to hear the young boys of Eagle Academy who were giving their testimony and their concerns, fears, and hopes. This is where young Jaden went to school. And there were a lot of takeaways. One takeaway was that, they want to be safe. They want to be able to go to the park. They want to be able to be in the community, and, know that they're going to get home. And then also they're looking to us to help them, to bring them safety. So I did think that this was an important event, but I'm hoping that there will be more of it. So it's not just one time where we're all hoping and praying and talking very, very good ideas, but that is a continuous process. Smaller groups get together and try to come up with implementing ideas. There were a lot of elected officials, but there were also, including Miss Vanessa Sparks, who works with Ty Hankerson's office. I saw her. But then, and she often comes to our meetings and supports, and she's a very active leader in the district. But also other school leaders like Dr. Van Ness was there, former the Chancellor David Banks was there, and he gave an extremely moving testimony, really moving. And other parents I could tell from schools in our district, but that were not in the neighborhood, were there, which was also very moving to know that, you know, our district is very spread out amongst various neighborhoods, but we're all united in the fact that we want our children to be safe and we want our children to go to school and come home and be able to go to the park. I don't want to have to tell my child, no, you can't hang out with your friends after the school at the park because it's not safe. Like, it's a park. Like, so that was really great that there was that community feeling. I think one thing someone told me that I think resonated was that these victims of these tragedies, they all have one thing in common. They have been assigned to a school. And when we think of it that way, then the schools should be playing a very important part in how do we address this and keep our children safe? How do we come up with events, activities for them after school? How do we reach parents who certainly care about their children, but perhaps are so busy with trying to make ends meet and go to work and do all of these other things that they're not as aware of everything that's going on with their children, or who may be suffering from their own trauma and mental stability issues. It would be very, very important for schools to play a very key role in addressing this. I know it sounds like a lot. It sounds like a lot to ask, but this is the common thread. And there are ways that maybe we can do some wraparound services so that we can really help families in the situation. So I really wanted to share that and share that I hope to be able to continue to reach out with elected officials and join their task force that they're setting up and encourage others, please, as well, to join so that we can not have these vigils and not have to always pray for, you know, safety. And Miss Cruz cannot have to worry, and her and the parents at her school and have to worry about the safety of their children. So thank you for hearing that. And also happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and mother figures. I like that, what Principal Petrello said, in these young children's lives. They really need it. And I just shout out to the dads too. I know your day is coming. Your day is coming. I know, but it takes a village. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. So many important points. And Sasha, you kind of took the words right out of my mouth. We've been very reactive and to these tragic moments and not proactive. Which leads me to my member report. So being in the community where that tragedy occurred, unfortunately, it's not new to me, and there's always lots of visuals and a lot of coming together in the moment. And thoughts and prayers for the community, unfortunately, that is not going to suffice. You know, the work is now. The work is after the visual is gone. Everybody has left the park and everybody, all the balloons are in the sky. Now is where the real work is supposed to occur. So yes, and I agree with you, Jennifer, when you said schools are the common thread. And I know our schools are probably doing a whole lot already, but it takes a village. So it can't just be the schools alone, but the parents also have to support the schools in any effort to help our students, you know, not be in these violent situations and have places, have positive outlets after school and after school hours. I also wanted to mention about the state testing. So this is my daughter's first year of state testing. And I want to thank the teachers that help prepare the students for this. I noticed that my daughter, she was not stressed at all. And I remember the times where I was taking the state test, it was very stressful. The whole school was stressed. So I was very grateful that she was calm. She felt calm and confident in what she had studied and what she has practiced. She was kind of disappointed when she was started to try to take the math test, and then there was the technology glitch, and it had to be rescheduled. So she did. Was very happy to be able to take the test on Friday and on Monday. But those technology things are so it's very annoying because I feel like it could be prevented. A lot of times you can foresee these types of issues, similar to the time that we had remote learning and Google Classroom was not working properly because of the overload. And I think it's time for the DOE to start being proactive even in these situations and looking ahead and seeing kind of, okay, what are some possible issues that can take place and how can we prevent it? Because it's just not a nice feeling for a student to come ready to take the test and it's like, oh, we can't take the test. We have to delay it for another day. So that all those nerves that they had building up to the day, now those nerves are extended to another day. So my hope is that in the future they could foresee some of these issues and see how to prevent it. I also want to thank the teachers in general for Teachers Appreciation Week. Thank you for all of your hard labor throughout this school year. It's almost coming to an end, so I'm excited for you and for the summer vacation for you. I also want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, all the mother figures. I was blessed not only to have mothers, a biological mother, but I had aunts who stepped in. I had community members who stepped in. So happy Mother's Day to the village, for all of our children. I want to read a short Mother's Day poem for you. It's called Everything Mom by Joanna Fuchs. How did you find the energy, Mom, to do all the things you did, to be a teacher, nurse, and counselor to me when I was a kid? How did you do it all, Mom? Be a chauffeur, cook, and friend, yet find time to be a playmate. I just can't comprehend. I see now it was love, Mom. That made you come whenever I called. Your inexhaustible love, Mom. And I thank you for it all. Thank you all. All right, and we're going to take our next member report from our treasurer, Alicia Bauer.
Good day, everybody. Cecily, Lauren, Lainey, thank you for the coverage of the AI topic. I've been educating myself a lot, and yet got mostly of the information here in my own CEC. Thank you for that. I hope everybody who attended enjoyed it just as much. Well, enjoyed maybe not the right word, but got the good information in the hands. I will share my screen. Just a moment to give my report. All right, here we go. I would like to start with follow up on my previous report from previous month where I said that Sonia, Sasha, and Giselle and myself got together to discuss empowerment, parent leaders through training. I promised last month that I will follow up with Central on mandatory training for parent leaders, centralized orientation and onboarding process. And as I reached out to Deputy Chancellor Flavia Puello Perdomo, this was her response. Your suggestions align nicely to conversations we've been having centrally, standardization and formalization of the parent leadership and governance spaces. We decided to have a one-on-one meeting on Wednesday, May 20th, to really see how all of these thoughts and ideas can materialize. And I will report at the June meeting of how that went. I'm really hopeful that changes can be made and parent leaders can receive the training they deserve. In the meantime, Sonia also completed one of her promises to give parents resource accessibility to already a nice schedule of training that she has this year. She added one more training session on April 21st and 24th, where she covered all of the parent leaders positions, roles, and responsibilities. It was PA, PTA, Title I, SLT. For those who were wondering what parent leadership is all about, and CEC as well, what parent leadership is all about, and many were indecisive whether they should or should not run for any of the positions. Many was relieved that now they know what each position means, and hopefully they will step in and will run as elections near. Thank you, Sonia, for that. Oh my, oh my. MS 217, last SLT, and as a liaison with MS 217, it's impossible not to mention that Principal Touchman has been an amazing leader for all of the SLT meetings and her role as a principal. She's an outstanding mediator. She is detailed, welcoming, and thorough. The SLT meeting minutes usually are several pages long. Every little thing is addressed. Every big issue is looked at seriously. And I appreciate Dr. Blake coming with the announcement of Principal Tuchman's and our Deputy Superintendent promotion, and met with SLT members where we could be the first one to know. And I saw a lot of sadness on SLT member faces, and sadness to let her go. But the school continues to do amazing things, and one of the new things is a reward system that staff and students can nominate each other for a pin, and the pins are worn on the lanyards with huge pride. One of the teachers, SLT members, showed us his lanyard starting to be covered with pins that students gave him. And I'm sorry I didn't take a photo. I'll hope to grab a photo next time. What an amazing way to appreciate each other. And pins are giving for many, many various reasons, and that is just brings community together. CEP goals will be discussed in May meeting, SLT meeting. It is the last, I believe, last Thursday of the month, so that's still coming up. The school now opened the doors to the thrift store. The items for the family members, for the community, the students to come and donate or grab what they need. Laundry for students are one of the amazing parts of the school. It is community school, and the laundry is done for students by the staff of the school. How amazing is that? And incentives were discussed for good academics and behavior. And the Master 17 got an amazing front door upgrade. This is new and it looks fresh, and certainly approaching the school, this stands out. The Emerson School, MS287, no construction updates at this time. Parent engagement is increasing in the school. It is amazing to see. They've struggled with that for quite a long time, and elections will be in May. They hope to fill all of the positions. Water was provided for the students during the state test, and the May 1st was an ice cream party to celebrate the event. Teachers and SLT members, administrators, speaking of, the events that Jennifer and Chantal touched on, decided that they will be meeting with students in their classrooms to discuss safety and mental support. The teachers now seem to have personally told each and every student that they care and that they're there for them. And that is now is a thing at the school when the staff and teachers start their day with addressing safety and mental questions from the students. Junior high school 157. At the last my report, I mentioned that they were looking to start cafeteria upgrade that was supposed to run at the same time with the testing dates. They were very concerned how they can, when cafeteria is closed, how they can feed 1,700 students. That all worked out. They managed it. And also the construction is not finished as planned. What was done is on the first two photos, there is a partition wall. You see the brown line here on the floor where that part was not belonging to the cafeteria. Now it is. If you look on the third and fourth picture, those are the windows. This part, the back part of the cafeteria was added. Now it is a good, spacious, beautiful area for students to enjoy. All the sittings, all the tables are now new, and the artwork on the walls are also new addition. They absolutely love it. It is cleaner, it is safer, it is more enjoyable, but the serving line is yet to be finished. And that is all I have. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Alicia. And we have our member Luzal to give his member report.
Hi, everyone. So first, again, thanks, President Quentin mentioned the safety issues, and it's last month. I mean, I think 2 weeks ago, the Russell Sage 190, where my daughter attending had a fight. It was broke out, and it has knife involved. So it was kind of a big news in the community. I mean, honestly, compared to, a lot of things happen in other part of it's kind of a, like not big deal, but it actually causing a lot of talk. If you look at the Facebook or WeChat group, a lot of the parents are concerning. Um, I want shout out to the 190 staff. They jump into it immediately. Put the situation in control. So there was knife, but the knife hadn't had the student didn't have the opportunity to pull it out, basically. Before she was controlled. My daughter would came back and very proud told me that was her math team coach, Mr. Collins, did that and took some beating, like it was he got slightly hurt during that. So if you read, posts, in those places, there are people would exaggerate, some rumors around, exaggerate the situation. Some people would use that opportunity to jump in and say, "Hey, this is time to move out of the city," like it's hopeless or something like that. No, but I think overall, I feel, the environment in one night is still very safe. They did a great job, all those things, and those things do happen occasionally. Um, but those are the confidence that build up for the parents that things like this could, like break people's, because there's a lot of things we talk, we debate, we ask for, if you can have your way or my way, but safety is the bottom line, right? So if you don't have the trust of, you send your kids to school and they will be safe, the the whole system break, right? So that's a very important thing. If you know, and also I think Jennifer bring it up, like very important issue. I talked that before, like after school, like break, all the things, they all kind of connect together, right? So there's a real need for the care of children when the school is out. So in middle school, when you're, I believe, start like eighth, six or seven, like the kids can just go home by themselves. There are no mandatory say you need to have a babysitter or whatever. Um, and we all know, let's be frank, honest. A lot of kids get into trouble, by the way, right? They go home, it's still early, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and they got involved with bad people, and things getting out of hand, after that. Um, there are a lot of things, connect to this. So also after the calendar was released this year, um, which is kind of predictable, like there is a formula to follow when the school start, when spring break. But this year a little bit special, because the Labor Day was so late. Follow that the formula, we have a very late start of the year, and which is good for me. I like it because I'm gonna take a vacation in early September when most people went back to school. Then you have quiet time. My daughter always want to go to Shanghai Disney because there's some kind of special Zootopia thing. I don't know, but she want that, and it was crazily crowded during the summer. But early September it would be great. So I love it, but not everybody love it, right? A lot of parents actually reach out to me and say, like, is there any recommendation for summer camp? Because it's so late, most of summer camp already finished, right? So if they're not targeting the city alone, most summer camp would end, I think, 1 week before the September. Then so for those parents, this is a necessary thing. It's not something nice to have. Not that you send the kid to some fancy camp, like have some fun or something or learn something. They need to put their kids somewhere, right? Those kind of thing become very important. I do think that at some point again, I'm guilty of, talk but no action. But I think at some point we have to do something, like have a resolution or something. So I think a universal after school, universal break camp, like being summer or spring break or something. So we need to have something, along that line. And also, I do think maybe that's a little bit too much, but I do think there should be kind of a mandatory connection with the parents. So basically, like a kid, if the kid has a son in trouble behaviorally or academically, they should be mandatory, like after school, like basically in a controlled environment. At least the parents say, okay, I can send off, I have a better plan, but then we should, like the parents handle that. Basically a opt-out situation, right? So right now it's opt-in. Even option in is not always available. When I want to put my kid to after school, there may not be, like many school like 303, 144, they all had the problem. A lot of parents was, that was a big concern last year for both of the school, at least I know of. They don't have any, option for after school. So it's a kind of far stretch if we ever can reach that state, but I think ideally it should be a opt-out option, not opt-in. So basically, kids are mandatorily automatically put into those program. At least the parents say, "Hey, I understand the situation. I send out my kid. I have a better place to put them." And also, a lot of things connected together. It's kind of funny. The chronicle absentee thing is the same. I've mentioned that before. Many kids, especially younger kids, they got this designation because they just keep getting sick, right? And they're missing school. It wasn't a really concern. So a lot of times we just look at the number. Oh, there's a 30%, there's a 20%. But what's behind the number? A lot of kids in that 30%, actually, we should not concern at all. Their parents handle that situation. They are not in any danger or issues, but their cases are definitely our concerns. So we should separate the concerns and the non. So we spend a lot of energy to convince parents say, no, you should not, like put your kids away from school for too long, otherwise our number doesn't look too good. I had a conversation with the principal of 303 when we were there, interviewed the parent coordinator. One of the questions they asked the parent coordinator, that's kind of that was on their mind. They say, okay, given the situation, a parent will bring their kid to like home country or something, right? So they say, oh, I'm going to take a week off from the school. What do you do? So they expect the parent coordinator to discourage them to do it. Because that's a real situation, because that would put that kid in chronicle absent category. But to be honest, I don't think that's a big issue, because especially for younger kids, they know where they go and they are not in any danger academically or behavior. Why you put so much concern into those things? Well, last, concentration on the things that really matters, right? So all those things, basically, like, I think I talked to Jennifer last time about this. A lot of things we can say, okay, let's have a mandatory training for parents, right? Like mandatory training for parent leader, which is fun because we kind of signed up for this, right? But if you say, well, let's have mandatory for parents, it's not going to work. Most parents will not join. They say, oh, I'm busy, which is true in many cases. In some cases, honestly, their parents are not responsible. They're not good parents. They're bad parents, right? So what are you going to do? If they're bad parents, what are you going to do? Give up on their kids, right? So I think there should be some way to, take the responsibility back to the village in a way to talk about, right? So that people are always blame people. Oh, they're irresponsible people. They don't take care of themselves. We should take care of them. That's the thing. I think we should take more control back to the system, basically. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lou. Now we're gonna have our member Annie Cope to give her report.
Thank you, Chantal. Thank you, Lou, for all the insight. Everyone else who's spoken before me. I think there are no answers. That's the scary part, is that's just what ifs, right? And as parents, all the parents before us, generations before us, they had their what ifs. My mom had her what ifs, my dad had her what ifs, and I turned out okay. But I have to say, it had to be in the community around me. It kept me out of trouble, kept me in line, saw things I was doing, sort of set me straight. But eyes were on the children. It's the 70s and 80s in New York. Eyes had to be on children. Because otherwise, those are the days when your eyes were like, where are your kids? They had the public announcements at 10 o'clock, like it's 10 o'clock, where are your children? That's right after the evening news. And I always thought it was odd because I'm like, hello, I'm always home. My mom made me stay home. Like, it's bedtime for me, right? But then I'm taking this for granted. So my parents were so on point for my safety. And until I got to be a certain age and I realized my parents were not overbearing. They were highly traumatized because they were war victims. They were children of war, and they grew up in a place that was unsafe. They came to a place that was safe, New York City, which wasn't quite safe, but way safer than where they were living. And they made sure we stayed alive and well-fed, dressed, had sleep, and possibly better dreams than they had in their youth. No nightmares, right? So that leads me to be when I'm a parent and I'm thinking about this and I'm like, wow, have we reached a point in our society that now we also have to think about the things that are happening, the AI, the shootings. Those are the same exact concerns of my day when I was a teenager in a high school in Coney Island, between Coney Island and Brighton Beach, Abraham Lincoln High School. We had metal detectors. There were weapons, there were fights, but they were, I think, a bit different because they were intentional and they were definitely beef between people, and they were not fights for no reason, and there were no gunfights, sprees at that time. Still violent, still not acceptable at any count in a school setting. Teenagers are the most volatile in that stage of their lives. But again, as we move on to the future, like, should there be another developmental stage between 18 and 25? Because our brains are not quite developed yet. So should we look out for the 18-year-olds all the way to 25? Let's do that. Because as we are living longer lives, we could look at our children and say, maybe they were, quote unquote, not as mature as we used to be when we were growing up. At the same time, has the technology and the wellness of the enrichments that that we're privileged to made our children less equipped to becoming adults. Are they emotionally immature? Are they not emotionally attuned? Are they not vigilant like I had to be? Right? So I look to tell my kids, like, they are at 12 and 9, and I'm thinking about, I'm listening to all what you're trying to say, and I said, well, the only thing I could do is keep forging on, keep talking to people, and just sort of focus on doing what I can. So with that note, tomorrow I'm going to Queens Collegiate. I'm going to add another school to my liaison list, just like you did, Pakita. You added 313 through 12, right? So I'm going to add 310. And with Queens Collegiate, I'm going to meet with Principal James Harrell. Had the opportunity to meet him over the middle school, high school admission fair in the fall. I'm going to meet him in person tomorrow. And one of the questions I will add to my list is about safety, and safety not in the sense of just physical, but mental, emotional, wellness, And I say, if you're not sleeping because you're on the phone all night, then you're gonna wake up next morning filled with thoughts of things that you saw the night before. They're like, what is reality? The AI shorts, those websites you're looking through, it's beyond that now. But these are the things I'm saying that it's so accessible and it's silent, right? It's silent and parents are not sure how to read their minds. I mean, how do you read a mind of a teenager, but all this information, you're not sleeping well, you're not cohesive, you're not eating, so these are it becomes the next morning, the responsibility of the school. They go in a building, and how are you sure their safety? We can't control them, but we can nourish them in different ways. And the school, I would say, is the basis for that. And then maybe they have to be the people who have to look out for their children while they're in the building, and also helping the families in need. And the thing about the mental health thing, it could go really under the radar, right? So how can you see this? How do you give family support? And how can parent coordinators be trained well enough, and counselors to have like 10 pairs of eyes on their heads, just looking, because that's how the role is. There's only one counselor in the building. They have to keep track of so many students. So in that sense, like, we have to, maybe everyone has to do it, the teachers, and they have done enough. I mean, they have to do lockdowns and fire drills and all that stuff. This is another layer of responsibility. And so I'm going to go to Queens Collegiate tomorrow and then also ask these questions, and have my report to give in June to let you know how that goes. Glad to meet a principal who is going to tell me all about 6th grade through 12th. So it's like a pretty big group there. It's like middle into high school. So to see their growth from like 7 years, 7 grades. So looking forward to that. So thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Annie. And now we have our member Kenya Townsend to give her report.
Good evening, everyone. How are you? Glad to be here. Thanks for staying and sticking around. I did miss our April meeting, and I'm glad to be back with you all. As we approach the end of the school year, it's also the end of the school year for me and at my job as well. I'm really looking forward to all the celebrations and milestones. I've already spoken to some of my schools about some things that are going to be going on that I'm looking forward to participating in. This is the time of the year, since I work with some high school students, that I have a bit more flexibility during Regents times and things like that to be able to be more local and visit more of my schools. So I plan to increase those visits by the time June is up. I'm really proud to share that one of my schools, PS 180, was awarded a 10K donation. And so it's from the New York Islanders. And so it's a really meaningful investment in the school community. And I love to see things like that. And also, it is like in my neighborhood as well, where I do live. So it really is impactful in that way. And then I really wanted to briefly acknowledge the ongoing conversations around just AI and policy, and sort of the evolving impact on students and the learning environments. I think across the spaces that I'm a part of, this discussion is really continuing to move beyond the surface and bring up like deeper concerns. And also just about widening the gaps in literacy. And that's not just for students, it's actually for us as community members, just our preparedness for it, the policies around it, how it changes the dynamics of our communities, whatever that means to you in context. And so this is also happening while we're navigating the fatigue of the broader challenges that are happening in the world. And so, we're like in late stage capitalism, and I think that is also very tiresome for people. And so I feel great that people are, committed to still coming and showing up to events and meetings like this to support our students. I think it means a lot. And I also just want to say, I think that staying in tune with your local politics is very, very important. I know in my district, there's assembly race, there's all these things that are going on that are really going to impact how we really tackle some of the issues that are going to be going on in the next couple of years and will have a long lasting impact. And I also shared this just like on my LinkedIn, but like this week also marked the deadline to provide feedback on the full preliminary racial equity plan. And we've also seen sort of the conversation around the true cost of living measure. I'll throw that in the chat, but really great if you haven't looked at the 300-page document around what the plan is and how it may impact you. And I bring that up because I don't think those things can be separated from education and how it directly impacts our students' experiences. And, you know, if you can't afford to live in New York City, you know, you can't afford to go to CEC meetings and you can't afford to be there for your parents. And people may assume you're a bad parent, but maybe you just have a lot of challenges. And so the deadline was on the 6th to look at what it looks like to be able to live here. But I think that looking at those things really deepen the need for a strong and responsive like social services, which we know are really lacking. And so as we get closer to the end of the academic year for the students, I won't be present next month due to just like work commitments. But I am leaving this year and wrapping up my meetings as a CEC member, really invigorated by all that I've learned and experienced. It's a brand new world. I say this often, but I'm not a parent. But I'm an educator. And so this experience really from that perspective I'm really grateful for it. And so I wanted to say that. And also in closing, I really just wanted to recognize National Nurses Week. My grandmother's a nurse. I know a lot of nurses. That did not come up on Quentin's list, and probably because it was weak, but it's a pretty big deal for the nurses. And extend gratitude to all of them for their care and service. It's been an interesting year for the nurses. I'm in different places. So wanted to say that. And I also wanted to acknowledge like Mother's Day and honor like the mothers, but also mother figures, educators like myself who step into the role of mother and even dog moms like myself who nurture and care in their own ways. And I also just wanted to make sure that I uplifted and hold space for those that have mixed or difficult feelings around this holiday. It is a celebration, but there are folks that, you know, are dealing with separate challenges. But that is all for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kenya. And we'll have our member Paquita Williams to give her report.
Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Hi, good evening, all. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Daddy Mother's Day, and all of that good stuff. So much good information was shared tonight. I want to start off with saying I haven't made another attempt to visit my schools, and once the initial visit and we find out the issues and what needs to be worked on and what can we do, what should be done, then what, finding out that this is not just an overnight thing, or like, okay, 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later we got that new plug, or the new plug for the AC, the vent we want, not the AC, the vent we want to go out the window for the washer and dryer. See, I thought when I first started this that once I mentioned what the issues were with the schools, it was like, okay, give it a few weeks and it'll be in place. But that's not how it's working. I'm finding that out. So in the meantime, in between time, what do we do? Now, I heard a lot of things, and I'm not going to hold you. AI. I'm still just a little nervous about that. I said I have children. I have children from almost 2 months old, 2.5, 11, 12, 14, 15, and 16. And, you know, they're not just going, you're like going full force. So with AI, you know, and I've mentioned it before, how I feel like it'll just, not all and not everywhere, but just dumb down a lot of people, a lot of children. You know, yes, I the book was beautiful, you know, but that might be a handful, you know, and I don't know about anybody else, any other communities, but I know that sometimes we always behind the eight ball. So I don't want to give any more ammunition for the children, my children. I'll keep it on me, my children, to you know, to get dumbed down. I hope I'm making sense. But anyway, I know I'm making sense because it makes sense here. Anywho and anyhow, my heart go out to that young man at Roy Wilkinson. My son was going there. Oh, mom, he's 16. And I keep saying, oh, you know, like the streets are dangerous. The street, you know, mom, it's just a water fight, the water balloon, the water gun. And, you know, when you, I don't know, when you put, I don't know about any other areas, but I know when you put an event or something, oh, you sprayed me too hard, you put it in my face, you, but I don't know. Buffoonery always happens, you know, and I was telling him, no, oh, mom, you know, but I let him go. And but he stayed only a short while and he came home. Oh, nothing was happening. And then this situation happened. This is not the first time. You know, I want to say, now I'm gonna say it could be the last, but I don't want to say that. This is not the first time. So, you know, like I think we need to, well, I already know we need to do more than just get together and put the teddy bears out and the flowers. Not to say not to do, but we got to do more. We got to do more because we're putting flowers out, and then you know before we know it, because right up at Foch Boulevard in that housing complex, I don't know the name of it, but Foch Boulevard, same thing happened, you know. So this is a repeat, a repeat, a repeat. You know, I had mentioned I was at a school, and I had mentioned like maybe we need to do something like Scared Straight, and it was mentioned like the kids ain't scared, and that's so true. I heard you talk about your mom. See, and you know, and please don't start sending me nothing about child abuse and any of that. When I was growing up, my mom, I'll just say, we didn't have that in my home. Not to say it wasn't stuff going on, but the kids are not afraid of the parents no more. My mom would go. My mom said, "You act a fool in school. That's where I'm gonna show up." You know. And now, if you yell at your kid, if you don't, God forbid, if you raise your hand, you can ACS gonna be investigating you, and you only want the best for your kid. While your kid pop off, neck roll. My girl was talking to me like that. It took all my strength not to pop her arms back. What are you telling me? But see, and this is how she talking to me. And I've adopted this young lady. I had her since she was 6. She's 14. You know, kids are not afraid of the parents. So when I mentioned this, you know, we had like Scared Straight one time, you know, and they mentioned about being like entrepreneurs and maybe we need to do that. And I'm looking at this person saying, well, a lot of kids are not interested in being an entrepreneur. You know, they're online, they're looking at the buffoonery. Let me see if I can ride the train. Let me see if I could do blah, blah, blah. The TikTok, you know. But anyway, we got to keep trying. As a community, we got to find out. And I like that idea about saying when you go to schools, because you know, I'm like, well, when am I going to school? And you done told me you want your washing machine hooked up. Now 6 months later, I'm showing up. Your washing machine still ain't hooked up, but that's a great, you know, if I go and we talk or at the SLT, like, what are you guys in the North doing? You know, so we can kind of implement it in the South. I went to a I went there's a I'm not gonna even call schools out, but the principal, he's so nice. He said, I had 600 students and 400 parents. They had an event and 400 parents came. I like what you was talking about, mandated, you got to show up, or why we don't show up. I've heard, like, in the South, I want to say that, parents are working, but you got to take a minute, just a minute, to show up to your school, to your kid's school. Just a minute. I hear things like the parents are working and some are just not interested. They're just not interested. And we have to do better. We have to, like a village, like the whole village, the whole community, we need help instead of just sending up teddy bears and balloons. But I'm gonna show up. I'm still excited about all of this. I'm still learning, and I'm gonna still show up. And I just want to share. Did I say the kids ain't scared of the parents? The teachers are scared of the kids. The moment you say, "Oh, I feel you violated my rights," or you talk, don't talk. I don't know. Y'all know what I'm talking about, the buffoonery. But anyway, I want to thank you. And please, I sent out an email. I hope all of the my principals got the email about the certificates, the graduation certificates. And also, I didn't send it out because I'm not great with the computer. Maybe I need an AI lesson, but please show up for the legislators breakfast. And no more from me. Thank you. Thank you for listening. And thank you for all of the good information around the room. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pakita. I will have our member Eric Kretsch to give his report.
Hard act to follow. Thanks, Makita. Hard act to follow. I'm kidding. No, two major themes, I think, this month from visiting with the schools and the parents. As Lauren mentioned, and Cecily were speaking to, there's a common thread amongst the schools, although I divide into two camps. So there's definitely a lot going on in AI, and I implore us all to educate ourselves more. I don't even know what the tools are that the schools are implementing. And so I have a lot of learning to do myself. But thus far, the conversations have been focused more on screen time. So we're starting small. So there's been conversations at 196, and there's been conversations at 117 in different forums. And 196 has resulted in a school survey being sent out to all parents. What is your viewpoint on screen time within the school? What should it look like, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know the next steps once they receive the surveys, hoping to get a decent response rate. At 117, Alessio is really leading that more in terms of, concerns from the parents about when screens are being used. It kind of almost takes it. I mean, look, in my own household, I only let my kids watch so much. So if they're watching at school, they're not watching at home. So it makes it really hard for us to manage, like, maybe it shouldn't be like a reward system, like, hey, get your homework done watching TV. Like, oh, you already watched an hour at school today. Well, there's no TV. I'm sorry. So it's really making it hard and taking some of our tools away. And we're trying to understand why the tools are being used, when are they being used, how should they be used? Can we have more input into that? And thus far, honestly, from what I saw at 117, I think the school is very responsive. I think they were kind of shocked, actually. I think at 196, I think they're taking a more measured step, but still, like, I think people were surprised. So I encourage us to work with the parents and the PTAs to kind of put the schools on notice a little bit about, we are concerned about this. Why are we doing this? Is this a vestige of COVID? Can we go back to some more interactions? I think some of the nefarious ones I see is that, my kindergartner is watching TV during lunch. She's watching TV before school is dismissed. I mean, that's unnecessary. We went for a birthday party. At the end of the birthday party, they put the TV on. So the kids were eating the cupcakes and watching TV. I'm like, okay, I'm confused. So we ran out to go back to work, but a little confusing. That's one thing. I talked about libraries last month. I've actually had some success connecting the library in Forest Hills at 196, and they're starting to get a curriculum together in terms of reading lists. It won't be mandatory, of course, but trying to encourage kids to do summer reading. So the library is kind of, I guess, juicing up their CAST program and trying to leverage some of the tools in terms of giving awards, keeping leadership boards in terms of reading, and trying to get the school to encourage this to happen, to kind of fight the summer slide, but also to give parents greater tools. Alessia and I were talking about how do we bring something like that to 117. but perhaps this is something we can do more broadly. I don't actually know how the libraries are centralized. I would hate this to be a library by library type initiative, but perhaps there's a more broad-based overarching hierarchy that we can start to deal with to see, how can we give some more tools to the schools in the summer times. I love summarizing. Not all kids do summarizing. So I feel like if you're not doing summarizing, you shouldn't have prejudice to get some of the tools the schools have available. Looking forward to Russell Sage's last morning breakfast of the year with the SLT coming up, I think, 2 weeks from now. And yeah, otherwise things are wrapping up pretty quickly. As I said, 37 days more. That's it for the month.
Thank you, Eric. And now we have our member Cecily Chu to give her member report.
Yeah. Hey guys, yeah, I'm always the last one, so I'm gonna try to keep it very short and brief, because I'm very hungry and I'm pretty sure everyone here is tired. I was actually looking forward to meeting Jimmy, and hopefully he will come back to have a dedicated session after we have sent our feedback, because one of the main concerns from 182 was about busing and if matron is not allowed, like, do we have anything more creative that can protect our kids, like on the bus, like when when they get too excited, when they get into fights, right? We can't count on the driver to control the room. So definitely looking forward to send the feedback to Jimmy, and hopefully we'll have him back to have a dedicated session. Oh, great. Okay. Thank you for staying on. And I kind of want to end this on a very light note. Happy Mother's Day in advance to all the mothers out there. I think all of us deserve and need to kind of pat ourselves in the back. Nowadays, like navigating a lot of ambiguity and like things maybe at work and then taking care of the kids and like all of that. It's a lot. Especially, if you have younger kids at home, like also like, learning AI, right? Thinking about AI at work and also like our kids' education, and there is no preset rule, and we are helping to define a rule right now. And obviously, like send your feedback and send your survey by tomorrow, and definitely, like voice your concerns throughout the journey, making sure that they're heard. But back to the Mother's Day topic, I took my mom to a little brunch like last weekend so that I can take photos for her, and she has a whole week to Photoshop however she wants to before she posts it. But that was always a very lovely moment, and I think as a mom myself, like I feel like the best day to spend Mother's Day is actually spending it with my own mom. Like ever since I became a mom, I appreciate my mom like so much more. And all the mother figures when I grew up, and I know how much they have gone through for the relatives and for the kids. So definitely I would say like all the moms out there, and like pat yourself in the back, you're doing wonderful jobs. And for those of you who are sticking here with us, obviously you're staying so late with us, and because you care deeply about your kids, right? Their education, their safety and everything. And all the father figures out there, I know you guys are celebrating next month, but celebrate your partners, and they're doing wonderful jobs at home. And that's it. I want to end that with a light note. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Cecily. And let's welcome our president, Quentin Messerton, first.
Thank you. Thank you, council members. You guys dropped a lot of information. I'm gonna have to rewatch this just so I could just remember what you guys said. So much information. But I'll try not to say any of the same information. So I wanna just thank the Special Education Committee. We had our first Special Education Committee meeting last month, and it was phenomenal. Thank you, Suzanne Sanchez and Andy Corso, and the whole Special Education Avengers that came that night and just gave us all the information we needed, more information than I've ever received as a parent of children in special education D75. I've never received that much like important information on how to navigate the DOE system and how to best support children with special education and in D75 and how to get into the other programs, Horizon, Nest, and what best suits you. So understanding the video is posted on our website. So please go to our website because that's a meeting that you want to watch over and over to not just for yourself, but to support all families. So I want to thank that SOUP Special Education Avenger team for helping support that Special Education Committee meeting. And we're going to do that again, probably next year, and just continue doing it all the time. And Councilmember Pakita came here last month and shared Autism Out Loud, an event happening in Rochdale Village, which is across the street from her. And I was like, I want to go to this. So I went to this event in the community and it was phenomenal. Only person I didn't see was Makita. I was like, where you at? I was just like, you invited us. And I called her after. She was like, yes, I forgot. Wrong day. I was like, oh man. But yes, it was phenomenal. It was a good, safe space, and I got to take my two children on the spectrum, and they had a lot of fun with other children. And I will be going again whenever they have their next event. And my youngest son, he likes to run away. He likes to elope. And I was like, not today. He eloped 3 times, and it was fun because they understood how to run after him and how to protect him. And I wasn't worried because I had my extra eye on him anyway because it was enclosed. But it was just like this guy's always gonna try to escape. Like, okay, this is crazy. But it's what Quinn does. So it's like, but other than that, like he knew to come back. But I was still like that. But Autism Out Loud, thank you. The parents that started that organization are phenomenal. And I hope to bring them here one day just to share what they're doing in the community. All parents of children with special needs and all. And then D75 had a father's health and wellness expo. So of course I had to go to that. That was phenomenal. We had food, we had um motivational speakers, we had a barber, we had massages. So I went to the massage twice because the line wasn't that long when I came back. It was phenomenal. Like I was like, I want to take you home with me, but that probably wouldn't have worked out good with my wife. So, but it was good just to escape for 5 seconds as a parent in D75 and just we got to put our feet up. We got to put our feet up for they had a lot of different workshops, but I was just like focused on the food and the massage. But I did go to the other ones. They were good, the fathers ones, and just talking about different mindset and mentorship. And it was really good. D75 does a lot for the families, and everybody could come as fathers, but it's just one of the things that they try to do because they know D75 and special education fathers did not sign up for that, but that's where they are, and however they could best feel supported is is um is definitely essential in that. So that was fun. And to piggyback on the emergency town hall committee meeting that I myself and a lot of other elected officials and council member, second vice president Jennifer also went on. I'm gonna put this Instagram link in the chat. So this Instagram link is from a influencer that I follow, Mr. Fingers. And like what I didn't notice, right, at that time while I was there, because it was just standing room only, was I was appreciating his wife that stood up and was talking about like there's a lot of programs and opportunities that can keep the kids busy that are in the schools, that are after schools, that are in the community that parents were going up there asking for, just didn't know where to look. And we got to work on that. So this link I saw come up and it was talking about he's putting together like a hub where all the community organizations, everybody who has a nonprofit, for profit, whatever, put your information here of what program you have so people can find a way to access it. this portal free, just putting them together because we all want to do something, and there are people out there doing stuff. Precincts have mentorship programs, so many community-based organizations in the schools, out of schools. So I was just like, you know what? You guys got to come to our meeting. So they were a little busy tonight because I was able to connect with them. So the link that you saw earlier that was put up there from Terry Renee Hewitt Green, that was actually the woman that I saw speaking up of the programs in health and wellness and mentorship at the meeting, but I didn't know then what I know now. And I told her to come by, drop her information in the chat so we can stay connected. I could definitely share her information and possibly have them come and present of all the things that are possible that we can just do. If you're not in Summer Rising, if you don't have plans, but you want to do something, there are a lot of free and affordable events that you can take part of. And I'm glad that somebody's creating that hub, put them all together. But tap into the borough president and the other community elected officials because they have those too. But I definitely want to shout her out because phenomenal family, and we're going to stay connected. And last night's pet meeting, because I like to go to those just because I'm a glutton for punishment and no sleep. Not just playing. But the pet meeting was phenomenal. I love meeting our elected officials, and I got to meet our first deputy chancellor, Genta, and she's also RSVP to come to our legislative breakfast. So we'll get to meet her in person again to all of us. But our community leader, Shirley Albin, did a speech. Yes, clap it up for her because she is this is her last term. She's been a parent leader forever. And I say that in a nice way, respectful way, because it takes a lot to be a parent leader. Like we don't get paid for this. This is a volunteer position to help support other parents and our school system. And she's done this from whenever it started. And she's been assisting, mentoring, supporting all workshops. So it's good that I always see her when I'm everywhere. So I definitely appreciate her mentorship, leadership, and I know she's going to find another position somehow in the community to support. But this was her term is ending, and this will be like her last meeting in Queens as PEP member. So I just wanted to give her her flowers there. And outside of that, everything else, please go to our website. Go to our CEC website. We post all these flyers of all these events and we support. If you have any event, we'll support it. But go to our website. It's a big resourceful hub that you can get the tools you need for all these programs. So everything we're talking about is going to go up there. Everything the borough president's doing is going to go up there. And there's a lot of stuff happening in May, June, and all summer. So please tap into our website so you don't miss anything. And we're going to be in touch with the Green family because they're doing a lot of good things, and I definitely want to support how much I could do. But check out the Instagram; it's actually a pretty awesome Instagram if you don't already follow it. But other than that, Spanish interpreters, do you have anything in the Spanish line? Oh shit! Did you say something? That's you?
There's nothing in the Spanish line.
No problem. The time is 9:30. I will, unless anybody had anything else to add, and we don't. Time is 9:30. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you for your time tonight. We are going to take a 5-minute or less break before we go to our business meeting because it is also 9:30. So please, yes, use the bathroom, everybody. We're going to take a 5-minute business break and then we're going to come back for our business meeting. Families, you can go home, you can stay, but of course, for the business section, you can't really do anything except listen. So thank you again for coming and you guys have a good night. And Spanish interpreters, you are dismissed. The time is 9:40. The date is February 7th, and we are now officially starting our, I said May 7th?
September.
Okay, the time is 9:40 and the date is May 7th. And we are starting our 2026 and we are starting our business meeting. Recording secretary, please do the roll call.
Okay. All right, first vice president.
Present.
Thank you. Lauren Clavin is present. Second Vice President Jennifer Sobers.
Present.
Recording Secretary Chantal Chambers, present. Treasurer Alicia Bauer.
Present.
Members Lou Zhao. Annie Koch.
Present.
Kenya Townsend.
Present.
Takita Williams.
Present.
Eric Gretz. Cecily Chu. And President Clinton Messeton.
Present. So, first thing on the agenda, I want to start with minutes. Recording.
I would like to make a motion to table the minutes for April. We just needed some more time to make sure everything is accurate before we share it out.
Second.
Thank you.
Next, I'm gonna have our first Vice President, Lauren, go over the absence reports.
So I was present remotely last month, and I want to make a motion to excuse that absence, as my excuse for being absent falls within the allowable excused absences under the Chancellor's regulation. That's my motion. Thank you. And also, Kenya was similarly not here last month. And because her excuse falls under the excused absences allowed under the Chancellor's regulation, I would like to make a motion to excuse that absence as well.
Second.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Oh, my camera's not even on. Okay, second. Now, we have the Principal's Legislative Breakfast coming up next week, Friday. I know we're all excited. Dress your best because we will be taking pictures. Now, I know, Eric, I know you have a reason that's very, very, very understandable. His child is graduating on the same day. Just in kindergarten. It's a celebration is a celebration. So he won't be able to attend because it's at the same time of our breakfast. But other than Eric, is everybody else going to be in full attendance? Awesome, awesome.
I need parking.
That's another thing we're going to get to.
Oh.
So, she needed parking.
Oh.
So that's good. That's good that we're all going to be there, and need a couple people to just help with the setup that could get there for 8 a.m.
What's the topic?
We're gonna we told everybody 9:30 to come, and then 8 a.m. setup. So 9:30 come, 10 o'clock. We're gonna start the agenda. You can come. Cool. Cool.
I can do 8.
Huh?
What time to set up, please?
8 a.m. Awesome. Nice. So we got Kenya, we got Alicia, we got Jennifer. I'll be there as well. So if anybody wants to come, nice. So we're gonna just like set up the tables, and then at the end we just gotta pretty much put it back how we found it. Take off the tablecloths, garbage and stuff.
You think we have to like literally enforce it or just?
No. They're gonna arrange them. We just gotta put the tablecloths. So we did get the tablecloths. Dorinda and I have been on a lot of meetings with York. There was a lot of back and forth, misunderstandings, waiting for information, but we got the tablecloths recently because we need to know the size of tables, which took us a long time, but York has been working very well with us, and we will hope to keep this relationship for years to come because, yeah, like it's a mutual relationship. So we're supporting them. They'll speak and support, highlight their school, and they're gonna allow us to have this breakfast. And it's a really beautiful, as you saw in the pictures, event space, and we look forward to that. And then let me see. So we got that. So yep. For parking, we need to just email Dorinda if you're going to be driving, because she's just going to need to submit the names. They're giving us parking is paid. You have to pay for parking, but they're giving us a certain amount of spaces, limited amount for us. So it's just like if you want to drive, just send your name to Dorinda, letting her know, and then she will add you to that list that we'll turn over to York, so the security knows we're
Okay. When you say giving us these spaces, that means we're paying for those
No.
spaces, or we don't? Okay.
we don't pay. So this list is for everybody who's driving. They're giving us that as a courtesy. Thank you. But we're not giving them 50 names. We're giving them, that's for us. So if anybody wants to drive, just send Dorinda your name, let her know, and then we'll put all those names together and we'll send it to York so they can let them know. But other than that,
Parking is $10.
yeah, it's $10. So if you don't mind, it is $10. But if you do mind, then that's cool. So also, who would want to be at the desk helping Dorinda when everybody's coming in to get everybody signed up? So we have sign-in sheets for the elected officials, for PTA presidents, for the PECs, parent coordinators, for the principals. Yes, go ahead.
To know, because I'm happy to like volunteer and do the thing. I just want to know what else did you need help with? So if there's something else that I any my talent things, could you look? Did you have to have a list, or is that just?
That is it so far. The last thing will be at the chaos at the door. So right now it's all about the chaos. But chaos. Seems like the one I should change my verbiage. Oh, you like the front table? Yeah, no. We need a couple people at the front table because people are going to start coming in loads and stuff, and it's a really tight spot. Well, we're getting there for 8. But for those of us who are there 8, but for that, I would say coming in at 9 if you want to like be for the table, because for the early birds, we're telling everybody that we're starting at 10, but we expect them to be in their seats by that time with their food. So I would say at the door should be no later than 9, but people will start coming in. And then
Is self-seating?
Self-seating, yes. So that was a conversation that when we get there, we'll probably there's 14 tables, 14 round tables, and we're gonna have about 40 chairs pushed in the back and on the side, because we're expecting about 150 people. So the front table, we could reserve some space for the elected officials. So as we get we're still getting RSVPs. So as we start getting them, we could kind of see exactly who's coming and who's sending somebody. And for principals, no. Principals sit wherever, council members sit wherever you feel comfortable. But we're gonna try to still have like some reserve seats for the elected officials that might come in. We're still waiting on the mayor's office and some other elected officials, but we do have a good turnout from top of my head. We have David Weprin, I believe that's his name, David, right? Yep. And then we have Senator Liu, we have Senator Comrie, we have Lynn Schulman, we have anyone else that I'm forgetting? Ty Hankerson. Yes, we have Gregory Meeks, deputy, coming in. I confirmed Natasha Williams, deputy, but they're still trying to see if Natasha Williams will come. Which one? Natasha. Yes. And then we have anyone else off my head?
Yes. Who's coming from the BP's office?
So the BP's office, we're still waiting on confirmation from the borough president to come. As we get the borough president's confirmation, if he could come or he can't come, you guys got it? No worries. We're still waiting on the borough president to see if he can come. We're still waiting on that because he has a conflict with the mayor. However, if he can't, then of course we'll have Catherine Zapata, but we're still working on hoping that he can come and speak because he does so much for our community. Yes, we're not saying no to the mayor's office. They didn't give us a full no. They said they're looking into their schedule, so he was invited.
I'll give him a call.
Yes, give him a call. Lauren might give him a call on a personal cell phone. Send him a text. So that would be cool. But if you know any other elected official like we're open to just, that supports our district. We're always open to inviting them to hear our concerns. We have 3 principals that will be speaking up the concerns. Principal El Garani and Principal Fishborn. And they're going to be gathering the information from all the other principals and speaking up for all the principals about the concerns that they can give to the stakeholders. We also have D75 being represented by a principal that's going to talk to all the D75 principals in our community, in our district, speaking up about their concerns and collaboration. So it's going to be a good, informing meeting. Right now, it's like 100 and a few, but every day some more people come. So I'm expecting by the time we get there, it's going to be 150. And there's people that don't, and then they still show up. So because everyone got invited. So the tables comfortably can hold 8 people. 8? Yeah, so it'll be like 112 with the tables. Well, no, we have chairs.
We have chairs.
We have chairs that will be set aside. So with the tables alone, we have 112. There's 8 per table comfortably. 10 is no breathing room. And then the tables, we have chairs where I think they said they could put around 40. So we have more than enough. But let's see what happens. If people just keep coming and they don't RSVP, then come early so you get a seat. We're there early, so you pick your seat. But it's just like we don't have reserved seats, but it's just like, sometimes council members in the past sat with their principals or one of their liaison schools or whoever you're connecting with. Because we're gonna have PTA presidents, we're gonna have principals, parent coordinators. So if you have a relationship with one, like you might want to sit down and chill with them. So that's cool.
I have a question.
Yes.
You mentioned, did you
are we able to see the RSVP list? Like we're already RSVP'd?
Yep.
How can we do that?
We will send that link because there's a link. We're gonna email that link so everybody can get it and y'all can see it. So yes, if you see somebody that's not there, hit them up, send them up. Thanks. Go to that council member's office. But it's looking like we're having a good turnout, so I'm excited about that. And dress your best. We do have a photographer that came last time. They're gonna come again. So
T-shirts.
oh wait, that's on the list. Let me go down the list. That's on the list. So I don't know. I can't wear my tie. This is a suit and tie event. I'm not wearing a t-shirt like the next one maybe, but not this one. But yes. That's too impressive. You get dressed to impress. You got you. You have nothing to worry about. So any other questions about the legislative breakfast?
Okay. We are not inviting. I remember, did we invite someone, everybody, like inviting one parent leader kind of thing?
Was that this? Last 2 years ago? During you was with BJ last time. Did each council member invite a parent leader personally? That's the end of year celebration. You had a parent leader you had in mind? No, just to invite.
For the breakfast. I kind of remember we did that.
It was added on later, depending on the RSVPs.
Yeah.
It was added on.
Yeah.
Okay, so good.
It was added on later, and that was the last meeting, depending on the RSVP.
Okay.
So basically, people who currently don't have any title, right?
Yeah.
You're not PTA president, but like maybe like Simone,
Yeah.
People who got involved, but not currently in any position mattering.
She's on a committee. She was
We invited committee. But no, good example. So like, let's see about like by Wednesday, if we still have some space on RSVP. Yeah, but if we have some space, a window, and you guys know of a parent leader that would fit into this room good, that would find value.
Did you invited?
Which one?
And the President's Council.
Yeah, Glenda. I sent Glenda and Linda Mendoza, right? I sent her an email today.
Giselle.
Giselle, see? Y'all said yes. You said yes.
We knew what you meant.
All right. But no, I did send her another email to make sure she gets in touch with all her PTA presidents because they are invited. And of course, they could always designate somebody else to come in their behalf. But we did send that, and I put Sonia on it because I want them to really reach out because we want those parent leaders, parent coordinators to come. But like we said, if we have some space, this is gonna be some good food. We always have food left over because they overfeed us. This is from the School of Food and Finance.
Oh.
So yes, we try to keep the money in-house. so they're bringing a lot of food. So it doesn't like bring containers to take some home because we're taking some.
So when I was a PTA president, you invited the PTA president.
Yep.
Then I brought my homegirl.
See, some people do that.
All together. So from my homegirl.
Well, Title I, that's a leadership position. That's not so.
Entertainment, music, or anything like that?
No, unless you bring a speaker and you got plans.
That's amazing.
That's a good question. That's
Yeah.
a good question. If we're gonna have music, but noted. So, yeah, there was it too.
Okay. Quincy, you were there when
There was music.
when the flyers were up.
Sing if you guys want me to sing.
I don't know.
But it's gonna be a time where people kind of.
Just commingling. Yeah. Like
Just once you get there.
no. 9:30 people come 9:30. You're getting food, you're talking, shaking hands, and then we're gonna start at 10 and we're there from 10 to 12:30. But we're not going to 12:30. I'm thinking we're gonna finish like 11:30, 11:45 and give people time to shake hands, take pictures. That's when we're gonna get together, take our group photo.
How long? The talking portion, like an hour?
Hour and a half. I would say hour and a half, no more hour and 45. Hour and 45.
Or
Huh?
is there like a run?
Yeah. No, the run of show. Yeah, as everyone, because even like some people, so let's say Melinda Katz's office, right? They wanted a certain time that because they need to go. The first deputy chancellor said that she can come, but she has to leave by 10:50. VJ, coming in his new title, he has to leave by a certain time. So it's like as everybody's confirming and RSVPing, then we could start to create the run of show. Because if we know elected officials have to leave, we want them to speak before they leave. We want them to show up and give greetings and stuff like that before they leave. So we'll kind of have to determine where we put them. So because of that, we're just waiting as we get to the finalization of who's confirmed, and then create the run of show, share it with everybody. But as you all get the link, look who's already there, and whoever you don't see, hit up your schools, hit up your liaisons, hit up your principals. Like, hey, where you at? So we know Eric's principal is going to be at a graduation, so that's one pass. That means we got 39 other principals that should be there. But other than that, it's going to be great. We had fun last time, and we really get to hear the concerns of the principals and stuff like that, and reflect on it and see how even we can support. But we're asking the stakeholders for support, so that's going to be interesting. And we have some other superintendents coming. Dr. Van Ness, I don't think she's a doctor, but two from the North schools. She's a dude, Dr. Two, Dr. Van Ness. They're coming because they're one of the pipelines for a lot of the schools that our kids go to. And
These other ones.
like Noah Angeles, he's invited. If he's not coming, he will send a deputy. So I've been
The other one, Fred.
I'm gonna talk. We're gonna keep sending them emails, but we got time. But if whoever's not there, they could at least send us an FLC or somebody to represent them. So they'll be in the room.
Okay, great.
Doing good. Any other questions on this? All right, we're gonna move on to our next thing. We need everyone to really submit their reimbursements forms because yes, yes, that's you. What you call it? Don't worry, you're not alone. But the budget is closing. We need to get those done quick because as we get closer, it just makes it so much harder, and we don't want anyone to lose their money. Because if you lose it, we actually just lose it. Like we could have put it towards the breakfast, we could put it towards something else, and now it's just gone into thin air. So if you haven't,
Oh, it's going to somebody's car.
yeah, no, it does. I know, right? Somebody don't say that on camera, but
Say it.
I know, say it on camera. Somebody taking that money. Where's that money going? But so what you call? We don't want to be reviewing forms at the last day and submitting them. So we're District 28. We're gonna knock it out early. So talk to Alicia. You can talk to me. You can talk to Dorinda if you need any help. But everybody has already done it, so just do the same thing you've been doing. And yeah, as soon as our June meeting finishes, let's just get rid of them so we don't have to think about it for the rest of the graduations and moving up ceremonies and stuff. And then Dorinda is waiting on everyone here to send her their t-shirt sizes. We already decided the color and the logo placement based on the vote in the chat. So it's more like send Dorinda your t-shirt size so we can the t-shirt size. So she can now put them all together.
Can we send it
Yes.
by text? We can text it.
WhatsApp or email? What do you prefer? Okay.
So,
Because
I know, right?
You prefer email? Yes.
Just text it. No, text her. If you want to text her, get your phone out, just text her. Like, yeah, everybody text Dorinda the t-shirt size. And then once she has all the members, we could place the order.
What's the purpose of the t-shirts? Like, asking, are we like wearing it someplace or is it to have? I just want to know. If
Yes.
that matters to me for my
Both. So we can, like one idea we were just talking the other day about we want to be more involved, make the community know us. I've been to community board meetings and I still get asked, what's a CEC? So what do you do and how does this work? Oh, we should know you. So it's like they're gonna have a lot of block parties, they're gonna have a lot of events that we can actually go and table up. We can go there and support as CEC. So one way to go there as a CEC member, you could wear a t-shirt. So I know there's a couple events that you had early in the year and stuff like that. We can do that as council members. We're going to these events anyway. So if you just want to show up so people can know, hey, that's Community Education Council 28, do it.
Can I say something? So
Please.
to that end, yes, thank you for the explanation about the t-shirts. I'm putting together a community events calendar that I'm going to share with everybody. So far it has meeting dates and times of our community boards. So 6, 9, 12, and 13, right? To the extent that I can find the dates, I'm going to try to get them all together. So it has the surrounding CECs, it has the PEP meetings, which are the New York City School Board, which some of you have been to. I feel like I make it my business to attend these things every month, not all of them, because we can't do all of that. But I just think it's really good for us to be showing up. A lot of them you can show up virtually. So yeah, I want you all to be able to be connected to what's going on across the city, across Queens, or just in our neighborhoods. I think it's super important. And then, if there are other types of community events that are happening, we can put those on the calendar. I'll see you out there.
That's so nice. In the tower. Yeah, I like the t-shirt idea. I wanted to also, can we do like a pin or something?
Yeah.
I only say that because like if I'm coming from work, I'm not gonna change into like a t-shirt, right? But I always wear like pins on my jackets and like hats and stuff like that. I don't know if it's in the budget. I'm just saying that.
Oh, no. So it's definitely not in the budget, but it can be in the next budget.
Exactly.
So it's something that when we were looking at, it was a little bit more expensive. But now that we knock out the t-shirts, there might be some flexibility in the next budget that we can have that conversation.
That's
But,
a really good idea.
yeah, I like the pin thing. I like wearing my blazers and stuff. And we could. So you right. See, we just get a little bit every time. That's how these budgets work. Got a question? Oh, I thought you was ready. Yep.
Well, the t-shirts will be ours, right? Or is this like?
That's yours. No, don't give it back. That's yours. No. That's yours. No.
It's a ceremony.
Like I don't really do t-shirts, but if I do, then I like put a little pizzazz on it, but I don't want to look weird if it's like supposed to be a professional shirt, and that's why I was just
gotcha.
Yeah, I think
mine sounds sensitive.
listen.
Yeah, with my force in the Dr. Parent Association, I had got pencils. So anytime the agency have an event, I bring the pencils and I give it out to the foster families. It's a pencil, the kids can use it. But that would be something interesting, like the kids also.
Yeah. Everything is about the budget. So we can't just go like to Amazon would be great. We could go to Amazon and get 100 for like cheap, but they don't let us go to Amazon. With their rules, we gotta go to
Cards donation. If I like, I also get a. You can't take a donation.
not us.
I want some.
No, it's like there's rules. Dorinda, if you could explain what they told you about like what we can take.
I can share.
That's the workaround. Wait, it's an anonymous donation, right? Anonymous donation.
You guys could do you can come
Okay,
together. to
so we can do it.
Like 1 year, you guys to get a plaque for what's her name, Suka, that retired, right? Budget couldn't do that. Remember, we got guidance from SGO, so y'all came together to give $23 and bought it.
Okay, so we can do that. We could do the pins if it's amongst us. Like once it's out of the budget, because the budget sometimes is too expensive. Because we have to go to their vendors that approve in our budget or Staples or certain stuff, and then the prices are just like these computers, the cheap computers, the Acers and stuff. Those are like $200. Like they're Google Chromebooks. But if we go through the DOE where we can buy it, we gotta pay like 1,200. So yeah, it's totally inflated, and it's the same refurbished one. So it's just like it's just not. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense to use our budget for the things that we have to go through that portal. Because that's the only portal we could go through.
Staples still exists.
Yeah, people don't have a printer at home. Yeah, that's great. I go there all the time. I go to one on Jericho Turnpike. But so is there any new business that anybody wants to discuss? Any new business?
Goals.
Or what?
It was coming up with events. So I think that on the 16th, just you mentioned just like going to community things, and I know for our district, like the assembly race is coming up, and so like the assembly race is coming up on the 16th in Rochdale. They're gonna have like a meet the candidates and
For Latoya LeGrand?
Sorry,
Latoya LeGrand?
No, not it's all six of the candidates because
Oh.
it's not just one. And I think that it might be really should I unmute?
And I think that it might be a good idea, because they do represent a portion of our district to be able to go and see and maybe like what I'm gonna go anyway, but I'm just saying like it might be a beneficial idea because all six of them will be there and we don't know who's gonna like win,
Send it in the chat. That's something.
I will.
I know the 16th, the borough president is also having a level up success event.
What time?
I believe that's 10 to 2.
It's 1 to 3.
Okay, so it's probably gonna be.
I'm going to
like
1, but yes.
Send it to the chat, send it to the
I will.
email, and the women can put it up on the website. But that sounds good, like to get early, because we can ask the questions that we know
Right.
we need answered. So yeah, I would love to accountable early. Like, you want my vote? Answer this, like that.
Control.
And they don't know the terms, the acronyms, then
Toya.
I get my vote. But other than that, do we have any new business to discuss? That's it. All right. No, it could be it. You don't look for something. So the time is 10:09. This meeting is adjourned. Good night.